So, last time in Renaissance. That's why I muted Shawnee, because I could hear myself. Thank you. The party continues to walk a razor's edge as they navigate Daggermore in their search for Rand's Hall Bloodbeard. To win over Stephen Pye, you guys agreed to rob Hinmore Segan, and to avoid conflict with Segan, who discovered your plot, you agreed to spring an asset of his from Razorbrig Prison. And to your credit, the prison break went off without a hitch. You guys sprang Derek Lugo and fled the premises as quickly as you could, booking it for the countless draconic ruins of the mortuary plains to the south, where you guys hid for the night before continuing onwards to Beddingwich the next morning. Upon delivering Lugo to the safe house, the party received the promised forgeries from Segan, as well as a parting gift and a letter. The letter warned that Pythe might guess your true purpose on the island, and advised you to attend to him before reaching Rand's Hall, and finally offered Segan's regards to a Miss E, whom the party guessed referred to the Goliath woman that sent them on their mission, Vivi Ellen Kelly. The party parted ways with their erstwhile captives, the prison guards, Thuruk and Callus, and returned to Stephen Pythe, who seemed excited for them to return and was ready to set off for Rand's Hall as soon as possible. You guys set a time to depart, and after parting ways with Pythe, spent some time discussing their options, while Aloran lingered behind, spying on Pythe's conversation with a visiting raven familiar. So we're picking up in the afternoon of Irizen the 43rd, it's a few hours after you guys have met with Pythe, and very shortly after Aloran has returned to the group from spying on him. Are there any questions before we begin?
Nothing from me.
Okay. Well, at present, you guys are sitting in your 7th floor suite overlooking the beaches of the Riviera, white sands and palm trees swaying in the breeze, the sun slowly closing distance with the horizon, and the afternoon is yours. You don't have any prior commitments, and
what's the weather like?
Sunny. Couple clouds in the sky, but sunny, a little windy. It's very nice out.
Well, we should probably just at least have a conversation about tomorrow. Do we know how long it's going to take to get to Renzal's? Has Pythe mentioned that at all?
I don't think he said specifically. I think you would know that you are heading to Crazewood
and that was
first.
Like, my brain wants to think like a day of travel or something, but
it's like a day and a half, 2 days.
Okay.
This might sound rather silly, and if anybody thinks this is a dumb idea, please let me know. But, what if we traveled the city and tried to find a very large cluster of guards? Maybe we can find our friends' houses. We know they're not home.
Which friends are we talking about?
The ones at the dock. Or that's trying to be at the dock.
I'm totally lost. What are we talking about?
The guardsmen.
The two guards that we gave a bunch of money to and said, fuck off.
Yeah, we gave them fuck off money. We don't have to care about them anymore.
Oh, no. I don't mean, like, to get to them. I just meant if they had anything cool.
Burr wants to go rob them. Burr wants to rob more of their former life away from them. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh my god.
I'm down.
I mean,
after I figure out what the fuck I'm saying to Varys, so...
It's an absolutely terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why you think this is a good idea. Because they're not home!
I mean, he does have a point there. They literally won't be home.
But, Lauren, while I understand your agreement, I have to go ahead and predicate that his statement began with, "Let's find a large cluster of guards."
You know,
On further
review, you are correct. Also, I need to figure out what the fuck I'm saying to Varys tomorrow. So, any ideas?
Oh, Lauren, no.
Because
What?
what?
Oh, no, that's Burr.
There's no avoiding this. Oh.
No, it's Burr. He said it. You changed your mind.
I'm sorry, Burr.
You do know you can't leave without me, right? Like, that's not going to happen.
She'll be like, don't even worry about it, Barry. So do I just...
Let's talk about that letter. Let's distract ourselves with, please, literally anything else.
Which letter?
Segan wrote a letter for you guys that accompanied the horn of silent alarm he left you
Did we
alongside the forgeries. You did read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he was suggesting that we take out Varys and, like, Pyth before we get there, but I'm expecting Ranzol expecting them to show up with us. So I feel like it might not be the best idea to take them out if we're going to try to do a friendly approach and snag and run sort of thing.
I would agree. I think that we're going to have to be very careful how we interact with Varys and Pyth tomorrow. I feel like...
Exactly. So what the hell do I say to Varys? Because that was 100% coming up.
I mean, I don't think you have to say anything too damning. We met him because he was a hunky Triton. And that's the truth.
Gonna be, I 50 gold from him. I thought I was a hooker. And I'm clearly not a hooker.
No. You can easily be a hooker. You have the body for it. Just say that you moonlight for that.
For what it's worth, I don't think he is going to give a shit about the 50 gold. I'm sure he is swimming in money.
Fair. That's fair.
He might not even know how much you charge, to be honest. That wasn't given to you by him, was it?
No. Okay. If I start like talking too much, someone just like poke me in the side or something. I have a feeling I'm gonna start just rambling.
It might not be
it might not be a bad idea to kill a horse and let me take over.
I don't know if that's how I want to spend my afternoon.
See, all we do is we just put a little something bad, so the horse is a little sick, and then he can't pull the carriage tomorrow. And then I'm like, oh, I got this, guys. Whoop. And then the horse. And then we delay the inevitable.
Just gonna be a horse for the next 3 days.
It's gonna happen eventually, and I'd rather not kill a horse to avoid it for a day or two.
No. We're not gonna kill a horse. We're just gonna make the horse a little sick. Give him a bad apple. And then he's just pooping too much. And then Pipe's gonna be like, oh, this is disgusting. We can't have a poopy horse pulling our carriage.
If anyone's got a hose, we can poison the horse.
I don't want to poison the horse.
You just proposed poisoning.
Oh, wait, no. Okay. I got this. I can speak with animals tomorrow, and I'm like, hey, horsey, I need you to act sick as fuck. Can't do anything. I'm gonna take the job for you.
Seriously? Alright.
Barnaby's offended on the horse's behalf.
Seriously? Alright. Nothing more.
Okay, fine. I'll just deal with the consequences of my actions.
I don't think there's really that much in the form. I mean, he might be suspicious, but like, again, the truth is sort of powerful here. We just kind of sought him out because he was hunky.
True. All I have to be is like, I clearly sought you out because like
I don't know why that would bother him. It's probably not the first time it's happened.
Fair. I don't know. I just feel it's real sus. Meet him day one, a week later, take Maria. Interesting. She was simple.
It's a little suspicious, but I think it's manageable.
Okay.
Something I
Well,
wanted to
then, I had no
mention
concerns.
that John actually brought up a while ago is we are going to need to find a way to restrain Bloodbeard when we do make our move. Should we perhaps go buy like a chain or something heavy duty so that because this guy sounds like he is built.
Would manacles work? Fuzzy ones?
Jesus Christ.
I just know that I worry about the integrity of hempen rope against someone who is bigger than John.
Oh, maybe we can tie up John and see what happens. John, do you want to be our guinea pig with rope?
Sit down.
John, we're not going to tie you up, I promise.
Why does that sound worrying?
I want to see if you could break these ropes with just your muscle.
Okay.
We just want to see if you flex and they just like burst off of you.
Here, come on, Lauren, help me tie him up.
All right.
If this doesn't work, we can always visit a cake shop.
Okay, so what are we using? Rope? Hemp rope?
Rope.
Okay. So, John, you're being restrained with hemp rope. I'm going to need you to make a strength check for me, if you'd be so kind.
Okay, just straight strength check?
Straight strength.
No proficiency?
Nope.
Proficient in being bound.
Proficient in bondage.
I've rolled a nat 20.
That's really good, actually, because this will really do the test.
The ropes snap as John strains and flexes, and they just flip out across the room, bursting instantly.
Well,
I'm just letting you know, John, if Saren was here, you'd get laid like instantly right now.
That was pretty hot. We're gonna need a chain.
Cake store. Cake store.
How much rope did I lose, DM, from this little experiment?
I'd say that'd be like 150-foot coil.
50 feet.
You guys are really trying to truss him up, right? Are you just going to tie him up once like a lasso? Be like, that's good enough.
Actually, you would waste none. I can fix it.
All right, mending.
Oh, hey.
Good thinking. Okay.
I have a limited set of skills.
Other thing I wanted to bring up.
Where did you want to go, Burberry?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Cake store?
No, I heard Burberry. A cake. You want to go get a cake?
I mean, where else would you find quality restraints?
What?
I don't get it.
Don't worry about it. But...
I'm not smart enough, Burberry.
No, I said a Kink store? Because where else would you get quality restraints?
Oh, Kink!
Kink. I thought you were saying
cake.
You were
saying cake. I heard cake every time.
I heard patisserie, so...
A bakery is not going to have restraints.
What? Yeah, I was like,
Burberry's puns are on another level today.
They're called pretzels. You stick your hands in them.
Did John break a pretzel?
Well, Lauren is hands
Baked
down,
restraints are the strongest.
ready to go to a Kink store with Burberry.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Burberry, Lauren's with you.
Now, I heard Kink in the first place, but I don't think they're going to have the type of restraints we actually need.
Like handcuffs?
Like,
Fuzzy
quality
handcuffs. Oh my god,
enough to
imagine putting your
withhold.
dad in fuzzy handcuffs.
No, we're not putting my dad in fuzzy handcuffs.
We're gonna get fuzzy handcuffs, Burberry.
If you want to get them for Gerald, that's your own business.
We'll get the restraints.
Well, we're still gonna go get restraints from the Kink store.
If you want to get fuzzy handcuffs for Gerald, that's your own business.
All right, wait, before we...
Lauren, you're gonna get a random message from Burr that says, I'm telling Barry we're going somewhere else. He's on bottom today.
We're gonna go get cake. We're gonna bring a cake to Ramsel. Be surprise from your boy.
Roll deception.
You're a
boy.
father.
What?
Happy Father's Day. It's a boy.
What? When is Father's Day? How far out is it from now?
Falsely lie.
Yeah, your season's a little off. It's gonna be earlier in the year later. Sorry.
I think we should. We can just go get a cake that says "Happy Belated Father's Day." Better late than
It's the
never.
thought that counts.
I can't believe I'm rolling to lie to myself. Thankfully, my insight is higher than my deception. Barry looks very skeptically at Burr.
If your passive insight is
No,
higher than
bring
your
a
passive
cake.
deception, can you lie to yourself?
Well, it depends on how good the rolls are, because this
It's a
was
good
an active
question.
thing.
Oh my god.
Well, thankfully, I don't have to actually answer that because lying to myself does require another person, or it has another person that I can theoretically lie to.
Oh my god.
All right. You had something else, Noah.
Before we scatter to the four winds, one last question for everybody. I guess it's not a question, more just a thing that needs to be brought up. When we do this, eventually shit's gonna have to hit the fan at some point. There's no avoiding that, given what we're trying to do. Should we have some kind of signal or keyword or something that we can say when we just have to make a move?
How about a bowl of gumbo?
Like eating it or saying a bowl of gumbo?
Yeah, maybe like a spicy bowl of gumbo. That way he doesn't suspect anything. Like a normal bowl is fine. The spicy bowl is that's our cue.
Probably something that
Or
can
maybe
happen
we
faster
just say
than making a bowl of gumbo.
I just yell out,
Is
"Holy
spicy bowl
guacamole!"
of gumbo the code word? Is that
I'm
the?
still not sure.
Is that what's happening?
Or we can just yell, "Get him!"
That's true, but something.
We could discuss Kyr or Kyr,
Here?
god of death and trickery. Seems appropriate. We could talk about Father Severus. You know, that cleric from way back when. That went way over the top.
Oh yeah, you
Goth cleric.
Oh yeah.
Hot topic cleric.
Yes, we could discuss Father Severus.
That is true. We don't have to necessarily decide right this second, but I wanted to at least put a thought in everybody's minds just in case. We've still got a couple days. Having something planned that we all know what it means and nobody else does might be worthwhile.
I wonder if I'll run into him again. Anyway.
All right, let's go shopping.
All right. So, a cake shop, quote unquote.
Come to the cake shop with me.
I know that it is not a cake shop, Lauren. The only reason that I am agreeing to going in the first place is to make sure you don't spend all of your money on things to use on Gerald.
If Gerald would only be so lucky.
These are for Ranzol.
These are for John.
Okay, so you guys are going to look for.
And I do want to actually go to a cake shop afterwards because now I feel like eating cupcakes.
I'm 100% down for both. So.
Cool.
Kink and cupcakes. What's the
I
worst?
like to
So what-
imagine the kink shop is called Cake Shop with quotes around it.
Yeah, y'all have fun there.
That's the one that Lauren will open later.
Me,
could ask
Barnaby, and
Pipe.
John
Hey,
are going
Pipe,
to go
where's the
find
kink?
some proper metallic restraints from somewhere.
Okay.
We're getting pink fuzzy handcuffs for John's
Handcocks
dad.
or handcuffs?
Handcuffs.
Okay.
No, handcuffs. Yeah, he just has cock hands.
Big cock mittens. Okay, so what's your approach to finding a kink shop? This is kind of a specialty request. So where are you guys looking? What are you thinking?
Okay, I was thinking we could ask Pie. I feel like Pie would
Yeah, he
know.
would point you immediately in the right direction.
I'm gonna find Pike.
I'm gonna Pie.
Last you saw him, he was up in his apartment.
Okay.
Uh,
Go talk to one of his guards.
Lauren, we could just ask the concierge.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, concierge. All right.
Hey, you know where a sex shop is?
Hey, do you know where a sex shop is at?
And the large Loxodon woman, Vulrus, she blushes at that, like, oh.
Sorry.
Or
a cake shop, if you would.
There's one of those a couple blocks down from here. Maybe like two doors down from the corner. Just like head straight out the main drive and just take a right at the second intersection here.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much. I will tip her a gold because I can.
Oh, thank you.
I like the clerk.
The priest.
The priest is coming.
Hey, faith comes in all forms. I have faith in you. You have faith in someone else's dick. It's fine.
So,
Oh, good lord.
following the concierge Volur's directions, you guys head out from the Royal Colonial down the street a couple of blocks, take a right, and sure enough, you guys find yourselves standing out front of a very obviously risque establishments. It's like the whole storefront is painted completely black. The door is bright red, and the sign overhead has like the silhouette of a shapely pair of buttocks as a logo, and bears the legend "Got Cake."
On the way there, Barry is going to proselytize about populars.
To who?
Lauren.
Oh.
It's a fun one.
What's it about?
It's about children, bountiful mix, and sex.
Just skip to the sex.
Done.
I feel like it's fitting for Will.
Cool. And so inside, there is a young halfling proprietor sitting on a stool behind the counter. You guys will walk in. I mean, you know what you're looking for here, I assume. I don't need to describe this for you.
I'm going to be safe.
Also,
what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a pair of fuzzy handcuffs and the biggest dick dildo she can find. She's curious.
Jesus. Roll for investigation.
That's my question.
Exactly, I'm curious.
Funny thing, no, Lauren, you don't even need to look for a big one. Just ask for one for an orc or a Goliath. Done.
Goliath size. Jesus.
Do you think we'll like it?
Or one of the elephant people. I don't know.
It's a gag.
Oh my god. Oh wait, my investigation. I rolled a 7, and
I mean, you do have a ton of help.
You can't find a single dick.
I can't find a
Lauren, roll again. I'm helping.
There's plenty of them. Just
okay.
How big do you find?
God, I rolled a 4 that time.
7.
So
all right.
It is.
You find
the
phallic section, and their wall is organized by size. You know, it starts at gnome, works its way up to halfling, dwarf, human, elf, and on the far right side of the wall, there's the orc and Goliath sizes. So you can take your pick from there.
How big is it compared to a lord?
Lauren, I hate to tell you this,
it's a lot.
but I don't think there's enough lube in the world.
Things I think Clint did not expect to have to describe today.
with a 7, you don't find anything immediately that is like so absurd, like nothing bad dragon level of
Honestly, no.
outsized.
Literally, Lauren just wanted to compare the size of the dick to herself, just to see that's all it was.
We'll say
So
that the largest ones are probably like 8 inches. Yeah.
8 inches. That's whatever.
You sound so disappointed.
Right?
You rolled a 7. What do you want?
She'll go.
You didn't find the secret back room with the real big one.
She's gonna go to the half wing. Where's the biggest dick? I'm searching for it.
Give me the biggest dick you have.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You can't handle my biggest dicks. They're too powerful for you.
I need your strongest dicks. Dick 7.
Don't tell me what I can handle soon.
Roll persuasion.
Okay, I have way better persuasion than I have. Oh no. Okay. 12 plus 5.
17.
Yeah.
He looks you over one more time, and he's got a very skeptical look on his face. He's like, are you sure you know what you ask, ma'am? My strongest dicks are more powerful than any dicks you have ever seen.
Are they magical?
Some are.
You have magical dicks? Are you kidding me? Yo. Show me.
What have I done?
If you're sure, ma'am. And he will take you to a back room, dimly lit. And he will light a tiny lantern, and you will see as the light expands.
Is Burberry back here with me?
Horrors, the likes of which you have never glimpsed before. Members greater than any living man you have ever beheld.
Okay, what's
Terrors in the dark line the walls.
What's the tallest one? Because she Loki wants to buy it as a prank. Just whip it out with Joe. Be like, hey, look at that.
Lauren, you're getting a whisper that says, Lauren.
There's one on a shelf in the corner
doing.
that's like set up on like a makeshift like altar sort of situation. It's like 2.5 feet tall.
You do have a bag of holding, so.
I do. I could beat
It's
John's
just
dad
booze
to
and
death.
one giant dildo.
Does that mean she'd have a bag of dicks?
If she buys 2, yes.
Oh my god. So bad that I really want to buy it just to like pull it out every once in a while just to fuck with people.
That sounds.
I'm going back to my room. You tuck it under your
This
arm.
is.
Knowing I would not be surprised.
This is
if you
Chotty's
decided to
escapist
use this as a
fantasy,
melee
where
weapon.
she can just wave dildos at random people on the street.
And buy all the dicks she wants.
This
Please.
is escapism.
Please do not ask if they have a bulk rate. That's.
She'll like go to her and be like, should I buy it just to fuck around with everybody?
I mean, I think it would
Like,
be. I'm getting a very strong no.
I could just like sneak it into John's arms while he's sleeping. And he wakes up.
You legitimately hear snorting from underneath the mask.
Smiley face on it. He's happy to see you this morning.
All of that money for a prank that would only work once, but it'd be so funny.
I could do so many on the street, man. It'd be great.
You could call it your communal dick. The community,
Okay.
if you will.
Because this thing's like literally half of the Lauren's height, right? Like it's just
It's 2.5 feet tall.
Legitimately, this thing is almost as tall as Bert or Barry.
how much is it?
This is an expensive one. You're looking at probably like 25 gold pieces.
25. I'm buying it. It's going right into the bag of gold.
Oh dear.
Don't say I didn't warn you, ma'am.
Oh, I'm gonna play.
I don't
Will you
believe
require
she's
a
going to
harness
be using
for
it
this
on herself.
purchase?
Actually, I would love a harness.
Arms,
She whips it out on Gerald. Boom.
We are nothing if not thorough in our business, ma'am.
Gerald, look, I have a dick.
Yeah, the harness will be like an extra like 2 gold.
Arnie is very glad he is not in this room and has no idea that this is going on.
And I want to buy.
But you are dreaming it.
Very, very much
Somewhere in the world,
there was
Barnaby, you are dreaming of this.
Yeah, but he doesn't know
I
it.
would like.
Not yet.
I'd like to buy 2 pairs of fuzzy handcuffs
Okay.
as well. Pink, hot, flaming pink.
Fuzzy handcuffs are probably going to be not nearly that much.
Was it 1 gold or 2 gold?
2 gold for the harness.
Burberry leans over to you and says, "You should also ask how much a ball gag is."
The fuzzy handcuffs are going to be like a gold.
I'll buy 2 of those.
Okay.
I don't think I need a ball gag. I think.
Oh no, I meant for later instead of a regular gag. That way it's absolutely.
Yes, a ball gag to gag Ramsall with.
5 silver,
Okay.
please.
5
Yes.
silver. Okay.
Why am I here?
Go ahead, type it up.
Meanwhile,
What's the rest of the party doing?
Oh, don't forget Loop.
we are going to go find some kind of smith who makes heavy-duty metal things.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's metal shops around, but that's not too hard to find. You find one actually manned by a Goliath fella, just hammering away at something on his anvil with his apprentices, running around, putting the finishing touches on bits and bobs around the shop. He'll look up. Like, what can I do for you?
Hi, we are looking for chains and manacles.
Well, he'll point you over to a wall. There's like a rack that's just got all these.
You see
It's got
a Lauren
multiple
in there.
gauges of chain. Yeah, you can take your pick.
Okay.
You're gonna need a lock for these.
Probably.
I carry some of those. I got a friend who makes them for me too. So just let me know what you need. We'll ring you up.
Judging by our little experiment with John, how much chain at minimum would we need to properly, like, given the tensile strength difference here, we don't need to like wrap this dude 20 times. How much chain do you think we would need to wrap Renascence once or twice and lock it? What is the circumference of a human is basically the question I'm asking.
I mean, a human is you could wrap them up in probably like 3-4 feet of material once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wanting to do multiple passes, you'd want more chain. So 10 feet of chain would get you like 2 passes, right? Roughly 2 or 3, depending on how big they are. It's really just like how much do you want to reinforce this attempts, right? Because each 10-foot section of chain is its own item.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I think we're just gonna get the 1 10-foot section.
Okay.
I think probably, I don't know, like 2 locks, just so we have redundancy. And then a couple pairs of manacles, too.
Okay.
Again, just so we have 2 people with manacles. Or I guess
Sure.
more than 2 now. But
So, section of chain, 5 gold pieces. A lock. Locks start at 10 gold. And depending on how
Complicated?
robust of a lock you want. Yeah, they can get more expensive as the DC to break them gets higher. And manacles, I believe, are 2 gold pieces.
Okay. So I'll just cover this stuff. So 5 for chain. 10 for 2 locks that are just minimum good. And then
a single lock is going to be 10. So 20 for 2 locks.
25 plus 4, 29. I will just buy the minimum stuffs and a couple pairs of manacles.
Okay. So chain, 2 locks, and manacles. That's like 29. No, 27. 27.
Oh, 27. Yeah.
Yeah. 27 gold pieces.
Okay. I'm going to hand the chain to John because it's heavy. And then I guess the locks to John and Barnaby because they're the 2 strongest. I'll hold on to one set of manacles. And then who wants the other between the 3 of us? Great talk, guys.
No way. I think they're too horrified by the events of what happened.
I mean, John is muted.
Yeah.
I don't know if John should keep him because I feel like John's going to be the one that's like physically restraining him.
That's a good point. All right, Barnaby, here's the other side of manacles then.
All right.
All right, that's all we needed to do. Back to the hotel.
Cool. All right.
Actually, we'll go to the. I'm gonna go. They don't have to come with me, but I'm gonna go to the cake shop. Maybe I'll run into. Not the kink shop. The bakery.
Sure.
I said I want a cake. I'm getting goddamn cake. I earned it.
Sure. Yeah. You guys can meet up at a fucking bakery.
Oh, before we leave, I'm gonna tell Burberry, I'd be like, you can't tell anyone in the party about this because I'm gonna do so many.
You're good for me. I promise nothing, but I will restrain myself.
It won't hurt anybody. It's just gonna be a harmless prank. Please.
With a really big, heavy dick.
Please, Belly. Please let me prank the party with a big dick.
As long as it's sans harness.
As long as it what?
As long as it's sans harness.
That's a fair thing. I'll buy you a piece of cake, Barry.
2.
2? Okay, let's go.
You walk in and you find Noelle, John, and Barnaby already there. Oh, look at that.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh.
So, anything else today?
How many chocolate chip cookies does the shop have?
Plenty.
How many?
Is this a Ron Swanson moment? Are we ordering all of them?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's see.
We have too much money.
It's probably going to be like 3 dozen cookies for like 3 silver.
Done.
Cool.
I'll put them in my cool bag with all of my fish tickles, so I'll have weird fish chocolate chip cookies.
Fish cookies. Ugh. All right. Anything else today?
Part of me really wants to buy the cake that says Happy Father's Day, but I just don't think that would be appropriate.
Last on the trip.
It gets there and it's squished. Wait, I have a bag of holding. It could survive in the bag of holding, probably.
I don't know how that would work.
Would this cake survive in a bag of holding?
You try.
Okay, I'm gonna order.
Just be like have a bunch of bottle imprints.
Bunch of alcohol. Hey, worst comes to worst, we get a cake for the road.
It's true. I mean, it's not like
road cake.
It's not like it's terrible.
Road
if
cake.
if it's smushed, it's still cake.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm gonna buy.
oh Lord, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Giant sugar cookie. It's sturdier, and you don't have to worry about smearing the icing.
But it's not cake.
That's okay.
It's called a cookie cake.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna get a cake.
Cake. Okay.
And I'm gonna ask them to write happy.
Jesus Christ.
Better than never Father's Day.
Okay. They can do this for you.
Happy guess what, Dad Day.
Guess what? Johnny.
All right. They can take a blank cake and they can make you a fresh one if you want a fresh one. Either way, it'll be ready in a few hours, and you can come back and pick it up, and it'll have the little frosting on it.
Yeah.
What are we putting on it, just to be sure?
Okay, I'm gonna stick with the original one. Happy better late than never Father's Day.
Okay.
All right.
Brandon's gonna fucking throw us out. Just punch kick a board. Get out.
What is this shit?
Think I like cake, you dumb bitch.
Lactose intolerant. Is there anything else you guys want to do today?
Last thing I was gonna just tell the party when we all reconvened. I think I've thought of a good sort of code word thing we can use. If we ever feel like we need to,
cake?
no, that's fun. But if we ever feel like we need to start getting ready to, make our move, I think we should talk about like traveling to Highwind or something like that. It's an island we haven't been to, and it's pretty inconspicuous to talk about something like that here, I imagine.
I would still very much like to head to Hallow. No, wait, not Hallowvale. That's elsewhere. Where do I want to go? Hold on, I got this. There's a place I want to go.
We're not
That
actually
is
going
also
to
an
Highwind.
island.
Is it Landor? Because I know we have quests.
We have to go to
Landor.
Landor still. I think that's the last one.
That's what I.
Holburn? Is there Holburn?
Holburn?
Holburn.
Holburn, the city. Yep. And Landor.
That is Landor. Okay, cool.
Holborn is in Landor, yeah. Hallowvale is back on the mainland.
So let's
Yes,
not
no,
talk
that's
about
why
Landor.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Landor. That's why I picked Highwind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Highwind.
So Highwind is the code word to pop off.
Yeah. Highwind is like, all right, get your shit together. We're about to do this shit.
All right. Cool. Anything else for the day?
I'm good.
I'll give a dozen of these cookies to random children.
Okay. There's kids around the resort and the neighboring streets, I guess. I imagine there's probably some parents, accompanying them that.
Too.
There's probably a couple that are just like, don't look at the weird priest children, and then the rest of them are just like, whatever, free cookies, and they just take it. But sure, the brother passes
I can't
out
justify
some.
myself 36 cookies, but 24 I can.
Mm-hmm. So.
And so I have a cake now.
You do have a cake. Better late than never's Father's Day cake. Cool. And Burberry passes out cookies, and that sounds like everything you guys want to accomplish for the day. So eventually, the party will turn in for the night and begin a long rest. No objections? Okay, good, cool. Morning comes. Morning of the 44th, and there is a knock at your door. Early in the morning. The sun is just barely beginning to rise. And you can hear an unfamiliar voice out in the hallway. Pyth wants you out in the street in 10. Get ready.
Okay.
Okay.
And you'll just hear footsteps heading off down the hall.
We sleep through it. No.
Yeah, right. Sleep through the 10 minutes.
10 minutes later, boom, 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 boom.
We actually sleep through it.
That's up to you.
You hear like a smacking noise coming from Burberry's tent, and then you hear it again. And you hear "fuck," and then he comes out.
Okay. Down we go.
Cool. Assembling down out front of the Hotel Riviera, you can see that there are 2 horse-drawn carriages that have been pulled up. Very schmancy. They've got like those gilded wheels and all this like fancy embroidery like traced on the sides and paint. These beautiful floral designs. And Pythe is standing there in this just absolutely excessive suit. It's not even a suit anymore at this point. It's like half suit, half like formal like naval military wear. He's got like this really like overdone like admiral's coat with like these big epaulets, this the cord under the arm, all these little golden buttons running down the side of it, this like really vivid bright red. He's got a big feathered hat on, and pinned around his neck, like floating over his shoulders, there is this cape that is just constantly wafting, despite the fact that there is no breeze to be felt anywhere.
He's really wearing a magic cape.
Oh, yeah.
Should we have put on our formal wear?
No. We're traveling. I like to make an impression wherever I go. So, I assume everyone's ready
Well,
to
you're
head
certainly
out.
successful at that.
Thank you, brother.
How long
Well.
of a trip is this, Mr. Pythe?
Well, it's going to be a couple of days to get down to Crayswood. I figure we'll stay the night there at my manor down in the village. And from there, we'll be heading out to Ranzal's, which will be about another day.
Out of character, are we doing horses, a carriage? How are we traveling?
He has 2 carriages pulled up.
Oh, question then. So is your cape going to continue to billow when you're sitting on it?
I can turn it off. And you watch as the cape just falls limp behind him.
That is very cool.
It's very convenient. So, are we ready? Everyone packed? Everyone good to go? I imagine we'll probably be spending a bit of time at Ranzal, so if you need anything, I definitely would bring your bags with you, change of clothes and such. But if we're good, then I think...
We'll have our bags with us?
Didn't see him. Just checking. Okay. So, if we're good to go, does a quick head count. Okay. Thought we might run into some number issues, but John, if you'd be so kind, would you join me in the front carriage?
We all stare at John.
What'd he say?
I guess I can.
Attaboy. He'll fucking slap your back and he'll start walking together with you to that front carriage. You can also see standing kind of off to the side, there is a silver dragonborn woman whom you've seen a few times around the resort. But usually she's just wearing like a plain suit like the rest of the security detail. She is currently wearing what looks to be a pretty sturdy suit of split mail and traveling clothes over it. She's got a pretty hefty sword and some other armaments equipped at her side.
Is it just
John into the carriage himself?
Yeah. He just walked up to John. I was like, if you'll join me in the front carriage.
I'll just ask if I can join, I guess.
I would love for you to join us. But we do have one more to pick up before we head out of town. So I was kind of hoping to have a little conversation. Prep John, for his first visit with Daddy.
Wait,
this is so exciting.
We're picking up someone?
Yes, Varys is going to be meeting us just outside Dead Man's Hill on the way to town.
That's kind of quite a thing to spring on a person.
I told you yesterday he was coming with.
Did he? I'm sorry.
He did.
It's been a week. I forgot.
That's fair.
Sorry.
That's fair.
Never mind. Retcon.
Listen, we'll pick up some coffee on the way out of town too. Get you waking up, all right?
Oh, I love coffee. Because as you know, the only thing that makes me better is me energetic.
Me too. All right, everybody, pile in. Let's go. Let's get the show on the road. And he will, again, escort John over to that front carriage. The Silver Dragonborn woman is going to open the door for them and let them get in first before following suit. The carriage driver just kind of glances down and just looks back at the rest of y'all. It's like, alrighty, well, all aboard. And the rear carriage driver will, again, look down to you and be like, are you ready to go?
Oh, ready? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
All right. I should probably actually say it started.
Also, where did
Cool.
Barnaby go?
He said he had to restart his modem.
He's convinced he's dreaming so much that he's taking a nap in the second carriage.
Oh, wow.
He's already crawled in and fallen asleep.
Okay.
Barnaby's just like conked out
Wait,
against the window.
how big are these carriages anyway? Like, does John have to get real small to get in the doors?
They're built to seat 4 for the looks of it.
But for what? Because we just had a whole discussion about sizes.
Yeah. They are tall. You can tell they are taller than the typical human carriage. So there's room. It looks like for orcish or Goliath individuals to take a seat inside if need be. But they are not substantially wider from the looks of it. So John is kind of squeezed a little bit. He's got leg room, but not a lot of shoulder room. Pythe is sitting across from him, and the Dragonborn will sit down next to him. And as the carriages begin rolling off down the street, Pythe will kind of gesture to the Dragonborn woman and say, "I don't actually think you ever made acquaintance. Lox, this is Rexora, my personal bodyguard. Excuse me, Rexora. This is Lox. This is Ranzal's boy."
John's just gonna grunt and nod at her.
She does literally the same thing. Just.
Oh, she must have the patience of a saint.
Or she likes money.
Or that.
As the carts begin their trek down the streets of Benningwich, Pythe kind of glances out the windows. Everything passes by, and he says, I gotta say, I am so excited to see this reunion. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Yeah. Sure.
You sound so glum, buddy. Lighten up. It's a family reunion. There's a big homecoming. For all the work you guys have done.
I'm sure he's big on family.
Look, Ranzal is, he's a real character. I think you're really going to like him. You guys, very similar vibes, But I suppose I should brief you, right? Give you the lowdown. The guy, real big on respect. So proper deference is usually a good first tack when meeting the fella. And he goes on to describe this man a little bit for you, and he does seem to be painting a very flattering picture of what sounds like a very stoic, short-spoken, brutish man. The more he goes on, I think the more disquieting the prospect of actually finally meeting Ranzal becomes. He's trying to butter it up, and it's just not quite taking. And as he's going off and kind of not seeing much of a response, he starts to sort of peter off, and he glances out the window. He's like, there's our traveling companion. And the carriage will slow to a stop, and Pi, they'll kind of pop the door open and say, Varys, come on, scoot in. Here, John, scoot. Or Locke, scoot. And you'll see standing there at the mouth of the street on Brigand's Boardwalk, there is Varys, the lieutenant, the Triton man of Lasharog. He does not look to be terribly weak either. And he is dressed in what looks to be pretty basic traveling clothes. Doesn't seem to be carrying a lot with him either. There's like a dagger on his belt. And he just sort of very sleepily pulls himself up into the carriage and sits down next to John. And as the door closes and the carriage begins going off, he turns to Pi and he says, I'm still not entirely clear why this sudden visit requires my presence, Pi. You have been frustratingly mum on details. To which point Pi says, well, kind of wanted it to be a surprise. And he kind of points to John. I found Ranzal's boy. And Varys looks over at John. And there's a moment where it hasn't quite sunk in. He's just kind of staring blankly. And then the eyes widen a little bit in recognition. And he looks back to Pies. Are you really? He says to you. You're Ranzal's boy.
Really starting to get annoyed by all those looks. Until he does the same fucking thing.
He's got this big shit-eating grin on. It's like, isn't this crazy? Showed up about a week ago and says, I'm looking to meet Dad. And I say, I happen to know your dad. Turns out they sought me out for just that reason. So we work out a little deal. We do some vetting, and here we are on our way. Is that not something? And Varys the whole time is still just like kind of agog, like looking John over. Is that? It explains a lot, I think. To which Pi is just, I wanted to see the look on your face. I wanted to see this look so badly. I have been waiting for this moment. Oh, this calls for something extra. And he reaches into his coat pocket. He pulls out a little silver case and pops it open. A little white powder kind of poofs out. Grabs a little on his pinky. Oh. We're off. And what follows is a tense and uncomfortable carriage ride between the four of you. Pythe is very antsy for most of the ride. He spends a lot of time talking either about himself or about Ranzal and their past exploits, or else he is re-upping on his cocaine and kind of taking in the sights as you guys leave Beddingwich and carry on down the road through this sort of rural countryside. Back in the fourth carriage, you guys probably would have been able to see out the window when Varys got into the carriage, but beyond that, there has been no real change. You guys are just kind of following the lead. What's going on with you guys? What are you doing? Anything?
Carriage?
I'm gonna pull out the ball gag and be like,
the second carriage, excuse me, the rear
Like, how many
carriage.
people are with us? So it's just the three of us?
It's four of you in the rear carriage.
Don't forget Barnaby.
Oh,
Barnaby
right.
is there.
Brain.
I know he's asleep at the moment, and he
Right.
makes a very charming sleeper, but still.
I think, honestly, just it's not even relevant right now, but like just out of habit or not habit, out of paranoia, I guess. Noel's gonna be looking out the window as we ride and looking for anything that resembles like a small collection of trees, like just something that we could use as a forest. Should we need to make our escape? Obviously, we're not even close enough yet, but that's just kind of where her brain's at.
Sure. Yeah. I'll take you make a perception check.
That's not bad. 18 total.
18. Leaving Betting Witch, you would recall, the countryside is pretty open. The most real foliage that you see outside of the fields is in sort of the tree blinds between properties. And they are not terribly dense, thick, lush forests. They are lines of trees catching wind. There's not a lot in the immediate vicinity that strikes you as forestish,
That's kind of what
Did we pick up a map of Betting Witch before we came here? Or like of the island that we're on?
I don't think you guys did, no.
I again, not super relevant right now, but that's where Noel's going to be whenever we've got a moment of downtime or quiet in the car or the carriage ride. Is I'm just going to be peering out the window and keeping an eye for any dense sections of forest or anything, and that'll just be kind of passively something I do.
Okay, sure.
Burberry would like to continue practicing Elvish, and will do so by describing the things that pass.
Oh, sure.
Yes. Please.
That way you can do both.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Mind off things.
Just play I Spy in Elvish.
Yeah.
Over here like tree,
You're like
grass, dirt.
Donkey.
We learn 5 words.
That's good for 8 hours.
Yeah. I just, John, is there anything while you have Varys and Pythe and this Dragonborn Rex for it with you in the front carriage? Is there anything that you would like to do or ask or talk about? John? Are you there?
I think he's still muted.
Yep. Okay.
Anything that you want to do while you have kind of the undivided attention of the front carriage?
Up to date, really.
All right.
Yeah. Just kind of brood.
Fair enough.
Is there anything they're trying to do to me, or talk to me, or anything?
I mean, Pythe is doing a lot of the talking. He is, like I said, he's talking a lot about himself. He's talking about Ranzal, talking about kind of their shared history. And part of it is him, I think, kind of talking Ranzal up again, like trying to kind of like play this up a little bit more. Varys, in between Pythe's sort of mini rants, when he kind of takes a break to snort more coke and kind of take in the sights, Varys will kind of turn and ask, so how is it that you came to discover your connection to Mr. Bloodbeard? I can't imagine that was an easy thing to discover.
I was traveling the islands and happened to see one of his infamous posters.
Interesting. He simply gleans a passing resemblance.
Apparently, everybody says I look just like it.
I'm not going to dispute that. You do have more than a passing resemblance. It's just very curious is all. For you to show up out of the blue like this.
I took a shot because I was in the area, and honestly, I'm not too interested in him personally. I'm hoping he'll tell me who my mom is.
And Pi kind of zeroes in on that. He's like, really? Ooh. Oh, this is going to be good. Varys just kind of like glares at Pi. He says, well, I hope that Mr. Bloodbeard can shed some light on that for you. Sorry to say, I wouldn't even know where to start on that front. I am less storied in Bloodbeard's exploits than his close friend here. Pi just kind of throws up his hands like, I mean, he got around. It could be anybody, really. But
all I know is that they're a female Goliath.
That both of them kind of share a look. Varys does quietly kind of say, that does narrow things down, doesn't it? That's very interesting.
One would hope. They can't be as big of a slut as my companion.
Ooh, John throwing shade in the front carriage.
Damn! Our Lord's like,
Feel in my chest. God damn.
Lauren sneezes.
Pi just gets a big old smile, and he is just like, I won't tell her you said that, but goddamn, my friend.
She knows it.
Oh, Opal, poor girl. And Varys perks up a little bit at that. He says, Opal? I'm sorry, you're traveling with an Opal?
Yes, the
Pi kind of shoots just a furtive side glance, like side eye at Varys while he's looking out the window. Like he doesn't say anything else. He's just
yes, the Triton with a alcohol addiction.
God damn, just outing her. Varys is like just like kind of dumbfounded, looking at you, and then he looks back at Pi. Did you know this? Pi's like, out the window. And Varys, like, he's looking at you, and he's like, just this scrutiny is suddenly just like all over. Like he's just furrowed brow. Like what? And there's a pause and this like flash of recognition, and he kind of just leans back in his seat, puts an elbow up against the window, and just stares at Pythe. He doesn't say anything else. And Pythe, humming the whole time, occasionally shoots that side eye again out the corner of his eye, just like, And there is a very uncomfortable silence that settles down over that carriage.
You did think it could get any worse, but it can.
Barring anything else you guys want to do over the course of this trip, you guys will be riding for a solid 10 or 11 hours almost, just bumping along down the road. And eventually the sun begins to sink down over the horizon and the sky goes dark. And at that point, Pythe, who is getting antsier and antsier, just shifting constantly in his seat, will eventually like lean out the window and say, like, all right, I think it's probably time we find somewhere to settle down for the night. Don't you? Come on, let's pull up there, right up there. And he's like directing out the window, leaning out at the carriage driver. And you guys can kind of see him from the back carriage lean out the window and start like waving his arms frantically. And the carriages will, over the next few minutes, like make their way up to this like roadside inn, where they will kind of pull into the yard, scattering the chickens that are kind of still milling about in the grass. Pi, they'll kick the door open and just jump out, stretching, theatrically. Varys and Rixor are following suit. At which point he'll kind of call out to you guys. We're gonna call it a night here, guys. Grab your things, change your clothes, whatever you need. I want a fucking drink. Let's go. And he strides. He says he wants a fucking drink. And he strides towards the tavern, placing his big feathered hat back over his head, kicks the door open, and he says, Stephen Pine is commandeering this establishment. Everybody out! And you see, moments later, like just a swarm of these common folk start rushing out the door past the carriages and out into the street like, oh, fuck this. No. Rexor follows him pretty closely. Varys, meanwhile, is sort of lingering outside the door, waiting for something. What are you guys doing?
All right, Opal's just gonna get it out of the way. She's gonna like open the door and she's gonna act very surprised when she sees her. She's like, oh.
I'm gonna, as Opal is sort of getting out of the carriage, I'm gonna just feign like gossip, just like look at Varys and then like whisper at Opal and then like laugh a little bit and just be like, is that the one you were talking about?
Oh yeah. And she'll turn, like she'll make eyes at them like, oh, and then she'll turn back and be like, and start laughing a little bit.
Performance checks, both of you.
There it is. All right, I got a 14 plus 2.
Okay.
Oh, a fucking lot. Like a 25.
Jesus. Okay. Varys sees you both get out of the carriage and kind of straightens up a little bit, kind of crosses his arms, and just kind of waits to see what happens next. Doesn't say anything.
I'll just walk up to him.
Yeah, I'll walk
you
up
wouldn't
to him.
happen to be Varys, would you?
And you would be Miss Luna, if I recall correctly.
Yes, I don't think we've had a chance to actually meet face to face like this.
I heard that you stopped by with Opal when she came to visit the other night. He will extend a hand slowly to take yours.
That is correct. It's nice to finally meet you.
Do a low bow and raise your hand and kind of just very, very gently kiss on the back of your hand. The whole time, just mad side eye at Lauren. And Miss Opal, as he straightens back up, was not expecting to see you on this journey.
I wasn't expecting that. What a pleasant surprise.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
And
Don't say no.
he will step forward and put a hand on one shoulder and just sort of pull you in to the side and just start walking you into the tavern.
Oh, no.
He's like, why'd you give Pie the discount?
And inside, Lauren's the first one in. You can see Pie that has already pushed together a couple of tables near the center of the room. He has grabbed one of those little like countertop tankards or flagons and just like set it up next to his seat. He's got tankards already that he's like quickly like filling and foaming up, starting to like slide them across the tables. And he's already like ordering food from the owners of the establishment. If we could get just like one of everything you guys make and make it big servings, we've got a big group coming in, you know. Throwing the drinks back. Opal Varys, please have a seat. Sit down right here. Oh, I love this little place. It is so cozy. It's so homey. Don't you think?
Sorry, is there other people here, or did literally everybody scatter? Is it just us in the tavern?
It is.
Did they leave their unfinished drinks on the table?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can bet on the way Burberry's going to pick up one of those and just bring it with him.
I will say, before we get into the tavern, I would whisper to Burberry, like, you might want to message Lauren periodically just to make sure she's okay.
Vibe checks. Got it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Wherever I sit, does Varys sit next to me?
Does Varys? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of vibe checks, John, how are you doing? You were stuck in a carriage with them for 10 hours?
All right.
I just made it extremely awkward for both of them, and they shut up.
Good thinking.
That explains the look.
John's got the 1,000-yard stare.
Well done.
Good on you, buddy. Pat patch.
All right, we go inside.
All right. Yeah. It becomes very clear as you guys are kind of sitting yourselves and Pythe starts sliding you about drinks. The waitstaff very clearly recognize Pythe, and they are very on edge. Like the proprietress is back in the kitchen, like cooking. You can hear like the occasional like real snippy sort of shout. You know, it's just like "Don't fuck this up" kind of shit. And very quickly begins like getting food out on these large platters. There's hand pies, bowls of stew. They've got within like half an hour there's like a roast duck that comes out, and she just puts the whole fucking thing down in front of all of you. And each time it's like, "Is there anything else I can get you, Mr. Pie?" He's like, "Yeah, those the little baked guys that you made last time, those were fantastic. Can we get some more of those?" She's like, "Absolutely, Mr. Pie," and heads back to the kitchen.
Sorry, where is that Dragonborn, Silver Dragonborn in here with us?
Yeah, she's taken the seat on the opposite side of Pythe. Or not opposite, but she's like seated next to him. Kind of just sitting back in her chair and slowly sipping on a tankard.
Can I go up to her?
Yeah, sure.
I don't believe we've met before. I've seen you around though.
Yeah, I've seen you too.
What's your name?
I've been Rexora.
Rexora. Oh, well, if you hadn't counted yet, I'm Luna. I'll sit down next to her.
Pleasure, Luna.
So you are responsible for keeping Pythe safe on our travels?
I'm a second set of eyes.
That makes sense.
Pythe is pretty capable of handling himself.
I've seen our friend Mr. Shrimp talked about how he killed a shark with his bare hands.
Yeah, he does that. She kind of grimaces and just takes a long drink out of the tankard. He does that a lot.
Not your favorite of his hobbies, huh?
There are less risky pastimes.
That's true.
But Mr. Pythe is nothing if not a man of action.
Pythe
It's not
seems
really
like
any
someone
stopping
who
him.
would get bored by anything that wasn't dangerous.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. What about you? You feel the same way? You guys seem like you've made fast friends.
Do I feel the same way that I seek danger? Is that what you're asking?
Do you?
I feel like you sort of have to when you're, sailing around doing stuff like what we do. But, I mean, obviously I still get nervous. I guess I'm not quite as into it as Pythe is.
Well,
I don't actively throw myself into beds of sharks, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Have you heard about the one with the frog and the scorpion?
you'll definitely live longer that way.
Here's hoping. How long have you been working for Pythe?
10 years now.
10 years. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with when Pythe got in danger? I'm just trying to find some interesting stories here.
There is There is a growing silence there as she kind of stops halfway to her mouth with the tankard, just sets it back down. It's just this long stare into the past. There's been a lot. There's been a lot over the years. I think, I think Doradrin's dismissal was probably the worst of it.
What happened?
Have he told you that story yet?
No.
Before Pyth was one of the lords of the islands, there was a older fellow named Yaman Doradrin. He was very restrained, too much so for Pyth's liking. Too much so for a few people's liking. And eventually, those people got fed up with it. Decided Doradrin's seat needed vacating. Someone else needed to take the reins. That was an ugly night. It's a bloody night.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know that you'd believe me if I... I don't think I could really do it justice. If you can imagine every window in the Royal Colonial broken out, every carpet soaked with blood, every table in the casino overturned, bodies everywhere. It's a bloodbath. Never seen Pyth so excited.
Well, you are a braver woman than I. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you don't really look the sort to be crossing blades with anyone on a regular basis.
I have this cute rapier.
Precious.
What kind of sword is that?
She just kind of looks down, and it's a sheathed longsword. You know, she just kind of raises her eyebrow and shakes her head. It works. That's all I care about.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll just kind of small talk, pick her brain a little bit. If I get something interesting, cool. If not, that's fine too.
Okay, yeah. She's open to conversation, although she again is
I think here. Let me
short spoken, and she is watching Pyth and the table more than anything.
Sure.
She is.
I think what I would
limiting herself to the one tank.
Try to glean casually over the course of hour or whatever of small talk, just like what her combat style is, like what she does if she knows magic. That's about it.
Okay. I mean, I would ask you to roll persuasion, but I know at minimum it's a 21. So, you don't get the sense that she is magically inclined. She seems to be a swordsman first and foremost. She does have some proficiency with a crossbow, but she prefers sword and board.
Is she religiously inclined in any way? If I drag
You
Burberry into this conversation, could I find out?
If she's not, would she like to be?
No. She would probably mention that like she grew up in Illical, and there is a lot of reverence for the old dragons that she picked up living there, right, in her childhood. And while she does outwardly say, you know, it's all hogwash, they've been dead for thousands of years, we're not getting anything out of them. And she does kind of say that she doesn't really give too much of a shit about like the burial sites being unearthed around Daggermore. You know, the subject in general does seem to make her a little uncomfortable. You would pick up on that. Like she is pretty quick to change the subject when it comes up.
All right, I'll drop it and eventually probably move on to other tables.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just the one table. By push like two together.
Like a counter she was sitting at or something, but
no, she's sitting at the table next to Pythe, and Pythe is just, you know, chatting it up with everybody, just fucking telling more outlandish stories of his sailing days.
I think our conversation would probably end then with like, so do you know how to flip a coin into a cup?
Show me.
I'm pretty good at it.
Meanwhile,
20. It like ricochets off of the fucking chair across from us and into the cup.
Fucking trick shot. Pythe probably sees that. It's like, oh shit, are we playing? Let's go. And he'll probably get wrapped up in a fucking game of, what is it, quarters with you, basically. Meanwhile, Aloran.
That's okay. You can.
No. Listen,
Aloran. As time as I could chatting.
Varys walked you into the establishment and sat down right next to you. He will reach across the table and grab a couple of tankards from Pythe and set one down in front of you. Must say, I'm relieved to see a friendly face on this trip. I was worried it would be old business.
I mean, there's always time for pleasure.
Is that so? I'm glad you think so. He'll clink your glass and take a long fucking drag out of it.
She'll drink with him.
So how is it that you know Mr. Locks, is it? And he'll kind of glance down the table at John.
Well, we met on the road, and we all just kind of started traveling together. Unlikely coincidence, but we were hopping islands and ended up here.
Are you all in the industry, or do your friends practice other trades? He'll kind of glance over at John again.
Definitely not.
Shame. Well, we can at least make the most of the night ourselves, can't we?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good to me.
You got 50 gold.
Are you going to use the thing?
Does Burberry like whisper this to Lauren in her ear while she's talking to Varys?
I mean, Burr, yeah, totally.
Oh yeah. So she'll be like, I'm gonna say she's like drinking out of her flask, and then you'll just like sit. Oh my god.
You all right?
Great. I need more. And there's.
He'll just reach over and grab another tankard. So are you prepared to meet the infamous Bloodbeard? Pythe has been talking up quite a storm in our carriage, but I don't know how much you've heard yourself.
I have heard absolutely nothing. It was more just looking at the countryside as we rode past. So, yeah.
Yes, it looks as though he threw this together rather haphazardly.
Yeah, we came back from our assignment and he just was like, hey guys, next morning, let's go. It's like, oh, cool. That's
Assignment.
Yeah.
This is your vetting, he mentioned.
Yes.
How did that go?
Not as terribly as I thought it would.
What do they have you do?
Rob and Mercedes.
You robbed Segan?
Yup.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a deception check.
Come on, deception. Oh. Okay, that was an 18, and I think I have a +2.
Okay.
So it's a natural 20. Yeah. Uh-oh. Guys, I'm sorry. Noelle, start talking. Noelle, help me.
I can't imagine that was as easy an assignment as you make it out to be, but you must be quite capable.
Yeah. I've got some tricks.
Do you really?
It's extra funny because she doesn't have any sleeves.
No.
Nope.
She has one. What else are you hiding up there? But he does say...
No. She said, I said she doesn't have any sleeve. What you're implying is that she is asleep, which is very different.
She had... Look, listen, we're splitting hairs. What he will actually say is, really, beyond what you've already showed me, I'd be very curious to know what else you're capable of.
If you're lucky, maybe I'll show you later.
Have you heard the prophecies of Populus?
What do you say to showing me now? He will lean in and whisper. We have the run of the inn.
Huh?
We have the run of the inn.
Right here?
You're gonna whisper.
Right now?
Lauren, you'll get a whisper that says, and the tools too.
Lauren's like, it's coming back. I guess there's still some ones.
Barbara.
Shut up, man.
Shut up.
You have the tool for that too.
Oh, what's your response?
Wait, is he saying like right here, right now?
He's saying we could now.
I
Grab a
interpreted
key,
it
head
as
to
like,
a room.
let's go to one of the rooms, but
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, let's just fuck at the table. Fuck
That's
it.
what she
Yeah,
was
that's
asking.
no. That's
that's what I was.
that is not what he's implying. But he is implying that you literally have the end to yourselves. Y'all could go wherever you wanted. Okay, grab a key.
She's like, where the fuck?
He points over to the front counter that curves into the bar, and you can see there's the little guest book and the little key rack where the inn keeps their keys.
Okay.
As you go over and take the key, I assume.
I'm gonna take the. She's gonna get what she thinks is gonna be the.
I mean, they all look the same. They're all fucking rusty brown keys.
Damn. So
as you go over and grab that, you'll see one of the staff kind of glance over at you and just kind of head down, continue walking towards the
I'll be
table.
like, wait. What's like the best room? Would you say?
They're all lovely, ma'am. I'm sure you'll be very, very comfortable. And he'll just hurry back to the table and drop off the plate and back to the kitchen.
She'll just grab a random key.
Um,
She'll try to grab one where she's like, will be far enough away from everyone.
Sure. Find like room 210 or something, and grab that key. And as you make your way back to the table, Varys will have stood up, finished his drink, and lead the way. Follow you upstairs. So Aloran is leaving the table. Is anybody else doing anything right now beyond quarters with Pyth?
Got my feet kicked up on the table, drinking some water.
All right, sure.
I'm downing cookies like they're going out of fashion.
I think we're just.
Oh, but I do offer Noelle a cookie. And Lauren if she wants one.
Thank you.
Or actually, does anybody else want a cookie?
She'll grab one.
Pyth will reach over and grab some. Aloran and Varys leave the table. I'll say go ahead and give me a performance check.
Vibe check on Aloran.
If you're wanting to do this, I should say. If you want to do something else.
Oh no, she's fine.
All right.
Okay.
She's good. I'll gag him. I got fuzzy handcuffs. I'll be fine.
Yes, the old lane slay.
An
18.
18. Ooh.
Plus 2 again.
Starting performance from Aloran tonight. Really bringing her A game. Varys rolled an 8.
He's too surprised. He's still in shock.
Yeah. That's what's happening.
What's happening, DM?
I'll say, it's maybe a little tense just because you've been anxious about how this is going to play out, leading up to it. But so far, he's playing ball and seems like it's just a chance encounter with a familiar face.
Cool.
And it's not quite what you remember. Maybe a little disappointing.
He hasn't beheaded
I feel
anyone
like she might
recently. He's
literally.
not at the top of his
No, yeah.
I feel like Lauren does not like being called a hooker. Or be insinuating that she's a hooker. And I think she's probably going to tell him that.
Yeah. He's like, so how much do I owe you? As he's grabbing his coin purse.
Oh, you sweet thing. I am actually not a hooker.
I'm sorry?
No, your guy would not believe that I came here to literally fuck you, and that was the only way he'd let me in, so. Hooker I be.
Just on the coin purse, tightens it back up and tucks it back in his pocket.
No hard feelings. Insight check.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay. Oh, a 17, and I think it's like a +6. Yeah. So 23.
Definitely looks a little irritated.
At a Warren or Opal Landing?
I mean, he doesn't direct it at you, so you don't get the sense it's you necessarily. But
Okay.
there's definitely this like, oh, kind of vibe coming off of him. And he kind of sits there for a moment. It's like, so you literally came calling at Dead Man's Hill. Just for me.
Oh, yeah. Your men literally stopped me from approaching you when I first saw you.
As they should have.
So, and I was like, and then they were like, yeah, you can come here. And I was like, I'll be there. And they showed up. And then your other guy, who I would say, really, when I say he would not believe me, I really tried to tell him that I was literally there for one thing.
It is.
And I honestly have no idea how much hookers make, so I just kind of threw out a number. So sorry about that.
Well, it was an. What the fuck was that?
That was Phoebe.
That was like a grumpy fucking yowl.
I guess because Tenzin stole her.
Oh, is that she's pitching a fit? Okay. He will just kind of say like, well, it was an honest misunderstanding, I suppose.
If you want, I can make you forget about all of this. And he's like, lay back down.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. We'll go along with it. He's not saying no. So you guys are more or less kind of just partying it up at this tavern inn for the night. Is there anything anybody else wants to cover before everyone begins to wind down for the evening?
Nothing jumped to mind.
All right. Pyth is probably going to be very awake and energetic and drunk and high when everyone else starts going to bed. And there's going to be, the usual, come on, another hour, let's go. Come on, I'm just warming up. Let's go. Let's keep this party going.
Does he not have points of exhaustion?
This man does a lot of drugs.
Nah, that's just literally all his legendary resistances are just burned on that.
I can't be exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm legendary.
But yeah, eventually, the party will be able to excuse themselves, find rooms, and kind of post up for the night. Pyth, I think, will be left down in the main room with Rexora, who is like half awake by the time the last of you gets to bed, and just like kind of slumped in her chair, arms crossed. Pyth, meanwhile, is like rummaging around the tavern looking for an instrument of some kind. And the last thing you hear before you drift off to sleep is, apparently successful in his search, the sound of a lute being very frantically strummed, and Pyth singing loudly out front of the tavern as he takes a walk out in the moonlight. It is almost 9 o'clock here, so we can take our break if we would like and continue onward in about 10 minutes. Sound good?
Sound good.
Cool. All right, break.
good. Should be back.
Okay. So, you guys spend the night in this roadside inn, taking every advantage of your hosts, as Stephen Pye does with everything. And come morning, Pye will be on everyone's doors bright and early. All righty, everybody, up and at 'em. Let's go. Let's go. We got places to be. And
Did you get any sleep?
I'll sleep in the carriage. Come on. 10 minutes.
There we go.
Is Varys still in the room with Opal?
Did she leave? He didn't either. He didn't either.
Okay, cool.
You spent the night with him.
Apparently I did. Okay. She'll just be like, too bad there's not a third carriage, or else this ride would be much more entertaining.
Varys will just kind of chuckle as he puts his clothes back on and finds a few little personal effects of his that had like fallen down on the floor, and his coin purse and his dagger. And he'll follow you out of the room as you guys all assemble out front and return to the carriages. And as everyone's getting ready to pile in, Varys will speak up, half asleep still, and say, would anyone like to swap places with me in the carriage with pies? Pie, they'll just kind of look at him like, have I been boring you? Clearly still very inebriated from the night before.
I could just switch with John. John didn't want to talk anyway.
I think you're the one person who doesn't want to switch.
No, it's fine, because they will end up in the same carriage if she switches with John. And Pine's gonna be asleep anyway, it's fine.
That's fine with me. Whatever, everybody just get in, please. We've got to go. And Pie will kind of stumble as he pulls himself into the carriage. And Rexor follows him. Varys will just look at you and he's like, shall we?
Yeah.
And he'll follow you into the first carriage. And John will return to the rear with the rest of the party. And in short order, you guys are back on the road, carrying on towards Grayswood.
I'll offer Pie a drink. Be like, the best thing for hangovers, another drink.
A fucking man. And he will take that drink from you and just pound it. And within like 20 minutes, he is just dead asleep in his seat. At which point Rexor is like, thank God. Varys will just kind of look over at you and he'll be like, well, since our gracious host is out for the count,
There's still another person.
where are you from? And he will attempt to start some small talk with you.
I'll tell him I'm from a small town near the Helen Deep.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
So am I.
Oh, really?
Yes. North side near Elthor.
DM side.
You were on the west rim.
West room.
Did your village have a this might sound a little odd. Did your village have a watch they kept on the rim? Any sort of traditional guard posted at the edge of the rim? Were you one of those villages?
DM, was I?
I mean, yeah, most of the villages, most of the Triton villages along the rim do maintain a watch there.
Yeah. We walked.
I don't know how long ago you were home, but in recent years there have been a number of very troubling disasters for our people
my
out there.
village was one of those. So.
Were they really?
Mm-hmm. About it.
Same thing happened to me when I was a boy.
Bonding. Jelly.
How I ended up here, truth be told.
That's how I kind of ended up wandering silence.
It's funny how that works.
Mm-hmm. Well, if your whole life gets upended, you start somewhere.
There's a lot of truth in that. Are you there when it happened?
She'll just be very quiet.
He's got a very faint little smile on his face as he's asking, did you see what did it?
It's all a lot of eyes. That's about it.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was the best moment of my life, truth be told.
Well, it's a life-changing experience.
Do you know what did it?
I've never seen it myself. I have come to learn of the creature in the years since.
What have you learned about it? I found out nothing.
It's powerful. Very powerful. Powerful enough to grant power, should you ask.
Daggers to crease. Holy shit, okay. Cool.
Did you have plans after all this?
I think we were planning on going to some more island hopping.
What if you stayed?
You wanted a relationship with Lauren?
She would
just kind of be like, why would I stay?
Oh, I know what Lauren's theme music is. It's hoes and area codes.
Her next little sending stone will be for both.
And he'll say, I had a sense that there was something more at play here. More to you than just a curious visit. Is that the best way to say it?
I'm gonna insight.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, I just rolled a 19 plus
19 plus 6.
That's a 25.
He's getting a little intense. Yeah. This is definitely a very pointed feeling conversation.
Is it just about the monster? Is that what I'm picking up?
What was the total?
now?
20,
25.
25. I think when you meet his gaze here, as Pythe is snoring in the seat across from you, Rexora is just kind of looking out the window, not really paying attention, and it's really just kind of the two of you on this seat staring at each other. And he has gotten really, really intense. And you there's almost this like unspoken connection in a way. This recognition between the both of you that he's talking about the monster, but he doesn't just mean about the monster when he says that. He's looking really, really pointedly at you. He's not acting aggressive by any means, but he is definitely laying cards on the table at this point. There's a revelatory feeling to this that is very unsettling.
Perhaps be persuaded.
Is that a lie? Oh shit! I was about to say. Whoa, she's thinking about it. Yeah, give me a deception check.
I would honestly be like, she is kind of thinking about it, though. She's kind of like, I mean, it's not interesting.
I mean, no, but
Kinda.
Kinda. I'm gonna use my inspiration because I just rolled 4. I'm really nervous for this conversation. So. I'm lying. I just rolled a nat 1.
What was your initial inspiration, or before the inspiration?
4.
4. So
Plus
6
2.
total.
Yeah.
He nods, and the smile grows a little bit. I could show you a lot.
I think he's gonna fucking sacrifice a woman to this demon creature. What type of things can you show me? I'm just gonna.
There is an old power that comes from the Leviathan, from the deep.
You just called it the Leviathan. Okay.
La Shirog taught me everything I know about the power it grants. I could share some of that with you if you're interested.
I'm not gonna lie, her interest
is very peaked right now.
He'll definitely see
when he gives it a name. She's like,
do say
it more.
Okay. I think the conversation continues. Varys is not super forthcoming with details. But he is willing to say enough, at least, that you get the sense that Shirog sort of picked him up, adopted him after the disaster struck his village.
Mm-hmm.
Shirog had been tracking these incidences and been investigating them for years up to that point. And as he said, he taught Varys how to commune with the creature and draw power from it. And at this point, I think he will show he does have some proficiency in magic. He'll kind of gesture in the air, and you'll see, water vapor sort of condensing into this cloud over his hand that kind of takes shape. And he sort of just bends it into the shape of various sea creatures: eels, sharks, octopus. And then for a moment, you see the ring of eyes sort of in this hazy, amorphous shape before it vanishes.
Yeah, she'll just like do a deep inhale out, like.
And he seems to kind of get the confirmation. It's like, yeah, you've seen it. And he tells you there are rites to be performed that are required in order to forge the connection required to draw off this thing.
Okay.
Is the Dragonborn doing anything in all this?
She kind of glances at him periodically as he's talking about this, but one, he's talking kind of like an excited whisper, and two, yeah, she doesn't honestly seem to care all too much. She's really just cool. They're still talking. All right. Pie's still asleep. All right.
I guess like if he shows her little magic, I think maybe she'll do a little magic. I don't know. What can I do? That's not super.
Druidcraft?
I don't think she actually knows that one.
I don't think I do. How about this? I'll do healing spirit, and I'll just cast like a cute little otter. Like, I know some magic too.
Wasn't that something? Mm-hmm. And I think he'll probably, after a certain point, just say, it's like, there's more to teach, but not here. This isn't the place for it, right? Like, this needs to be done properly to get any further into it. And really, you should talk to Lasharog. He is well versed in the lore of this thing. And he'll probably change the subject at that point, more back to kind of like personal, small talk kind of.
She will ask him about the coral reef outside of like the island when they passed it, because she didn't get to actually see it. She's just curious about it because she thought it was really pretty.
It is beautiful out there. Yeah. There are a handful of settlements for our kinds, and the Dalkin built amidst the reefs. I could show you sometime. It's quite lovely.
Sounds lovely.
Is anything happening in the back carriage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burberry is going to ask, Noel, are you doing okay? It's been a bit of a harrowing couple of days.
Not really. It's been a lot. I keep thinking about how many people I probably killed with those creatures. Those lights. Do you remember that?
Because I do.
When I woke up to take watch, John told me he heard screaming in the forest.
Well, that is... Sorry, give me a second to process that.
Yeah, no, I've been working on that for the last 2 days too, so...
To be fair, I'm fairly certain the lights only injure you if you follow them, and I feel like they have been around long enough that they should know better.
Yeah, I thought that too. I guess not. It's just been stressful here. It's been a lot, and it's starting to get weird, like how many people keep dying because of stuff we do, and like I feel like our ratio of people saved to people dying is kind of not great. Like, are we bad at this, Burberry?
Do you want the guilded answer or my answer?
I want what you believe.
Yes, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
It has not been. Remember whenever we first started walking around, and the hardest thing we had to deal with was somebody vomiting at our shoes.
that was really gross.
I weirdly miss that.
I know. It was a lot simpler.
It was a ton simpler, and honestly, the best thing that we can probably do is just try to do better later, because when we did have lives in our hands, we did everything that we could to save them, even though it was us who put them in that situation. But still, even though everybody around us was saying we should kill them, it'd be easier, we still made the hard decision to keep them alive and even help them continue to be alive in the next coming weeks. And
about the guards?
yes.
Mm. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have to kill them. That was good.
And also, were the lights really that murdery?
I don't know. But
did you know that they were going to do what they did when you sent them off?
I don't know. John mentioned something about how he's heard stories about lights in the woods drawing people, and so I thought, well, we don't want to become one of those stories. So I just kind of sent them where I knew they'd find people. I didn't really realize what I was doing, I guess.
Oh, well, in that case, you were acting in your own best interest, and thanks to that, we were able to survive. So really, you were saving us as a party.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying I made the wrong decision. I guess it's just terrifying how many people die around us now. Like you said, when we were just walking together up the coast, it was just kind of simple, and everything got really complicated really fast. And I've specifically not been counting how many people have died on our watch because it terrifies me to think about, and I know that at the end of all of this, we're only saving one person, really, who was already a pirate.
The intentions that we set out with were good. It would be a very classic journey, end of road scenario. How's it go? Oh, no, it's about the destination and not the journey. Or is it about the journey and not the destination? It's one of those.
It's the journey, Burberry.
Yes.
The most helpful priest.
It'll all come out in the wash.
Shut up, Sky Daddy. I'm doing my best. I don't know.
Do you know what
not
I'm
an easy.
Thankful for, Burberry? I'm thankful that we actually followed through on Montalban.
We did.
That was
We
probably
saved
good,
a lot
right?
of people. That was very good. And all it took was chasing down a giant mushroom in an old. I never would have said that sentence 5 months ago.
It's when you spell it out, it's really weird. But I mean,
honestly, somebody should make a roll top game or a book on it or something. I don't know.
I wrote a couple poems about it. They're not good. It's hard to find good rhymes for mushroom that don't sound stupid. But
musk and gloom.
I did use gloom.
Gloom is a good one.
Are you okay?
Oh heavens, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I'm fine. Well, ish. I'm fine-ish. I'm better than he is. I've kind of come to a conclusion that no matter how catastrophic things may seem in the moment, I'm going to keep trying my best, and if something bad happens, then something bad happens, and this might sound familiar to you for some reason. I'm not sure why. But you know, as long as we try to make good things happen, and then we are trying our best. It might not be the good thing, and it might not be the best thing. I've never exactly put myself up as the pillar of morality over here. But we're doing the best that we can with what we have. And sometimes it might result in lots of people ceasing to exist. That happens. It happens. But sometimes we save a village.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I really do appreciate you reaching out, Burberry. I guess what just sticks with me in all of this is, would things be better around here if we just done nothing?
Well, considering that Pive murdered an entire what have ye and spread his innards all over a wall and the counter and stuff, I don't think it would have made much difference, to be honest. Just being in that island generally seems like it very much a hazard, a life hazard in general.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you're dealing in a land that has 7 lords who don't agree with each other. It's bound to have turmoil, right?
Yeah, I guess that's always going to be complicated.
Although we haven't met the other ones, the ones that we have met have been very chaotic. Well, except for the one that we... Anyway, the main ones that we are dealing with currently, and carriage 2 ahead of us, are very chaotic. I mean, Opal went in there and ended up being a hookup for a night. That, while I did foresee sex happening, the money was new. Just throwing it out there.
I still can't believe that really happened, but
I would love to say that I am surprised, but I generally try not to lie. Honestly, I feel like a little over half of our group looks at Barnaby. Definitely over half of our group are going through things. Basically, we're just a lot of very dysfunctional people that are hanging out together and kind of trying to pretend that we're functional.
I am pretending I am functional.
No, you are not.
He rips ass.
Not. You have... Okay, all right. Barnaby, I love you. You're amazing. But most people don't name their fingers or call them family. Most people aren't convinced that they are sleeping while they are walking around talking to people and sometimes accidentally murdering them. And most people don't... Look, I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, Sky Daddy. Shush.
Accidentally.
And 3, most people don't walk around in what is basically a giant metal tin can constantly, no matter the situation. Like, sometimes some people might consider changing. I mean, how long has it been since you've bathed out of that thing?
You guys made me clean it like a week or so ago.
I did not ask about the armor. I asked about you.
Let's see. When did I actually take a bath?
Yeah,
What
most
year
people
was
wouldn't
that?
have to think about that question.
What year was that?
Well, while you are
The party's nose blind to Barnaby at this point.
we're just used to it.
while you are stable in the sense that you can make rational decisions and understand what you are doing, you are definitely not okay.
Barnaby just kind of looks over himself. I consider myself okay.
I did not expect him to say all of that.
Barnaby, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's some odd stuff going on with you, whether you are aware of it or not. And I'd love to learn more about it, but every time we try to talk to you about it, you don't seem to want to say anything, so we just haven't talked about it.
Or say it doesn't matter because we're all just part of your dream.
Right.
And even if I am some sort of figment of your imagination, I would very much like to think that my opinion matters.
I don't disagree. Your opinion does matter. I like to hear it. Makes me know that I am in a dream because I got opinions other than my own.
Yeah, see, if it was a dream, they're all your opinions. Because it's all in your head.
And how do you explain the monsters that attack us?
The same way that I explain a ship breaking in half.
I mean, that sounds like a dream to me. You think we could have survived that, really, if it wasn't a dream?
If we didn't survive it, you'd be dead, not dreaming.
No, we survived it because we were in a dream.
I survived it because I paddled in the cold water for 6 hours under a boat.
You see, I float and I washed up on the beach.
Lauren.
I also
That is not what happened.
I wish I had some sort of magical way to explain how I got out, but I woke up in an underwater cave. So yeah, that happened. Oh yes, with baby teeth. Are we still calling it baby teeth?
Probably.
Baby
That's
teeth.
how we died.
I mean, it's more dead teeth now than anything.
I don't think there's a past tense for baby teeth.
Dead teeth?
So the artist formerly known as Baby Teeth?
The corpse formerly known as Baby Teeth.
And honestly, it just might be because we're getting most people that I know also can't cause giant swarms of people to appear out of nowhere and attack stuff. So it might just be a side effect of being scary in our own right.
When did this happen?
That thing that I can... I did it for the kids at Halloween.
Remind Peter, what was this?
It's one of the spells that I have. It's the Spirit Guardians.
Oh, right. Yes, I do recall that.
Yeah. Most people can't do that.
Well, I guess point is, Barnaby, you know, when we're done with this, and it seems like we're kind of approaching the end of our time on Pirate Island, I know that you still have unfinished business to deal with, and I think we all trust each other enough to want to help you, but we're probably going to need a little bit more about your past if we're going to go all in on this. So start thinking about that. Try to remember, because I want to know more, but you have to be willing to share it.
And not think that we already know stuff. Because to us, this is not a dream.
Mm.
I just want to shake it. This is our lives, man!
I mean, I respect your dream life just like a regular life.
I would smack you, but that would hurt.
Well, you could wake me up and then you'd cease to exist.
Only
So,
hurt Burberry.
It would hurt. I did not mean Barnaby when I said it would hurt. And honestly, yeah, it's rather impolite to smack people. Hey,
true.
Unless it's yourself.
I mean, I tried that. It hurt, but it's a family thing. You know, when you get hit by family, then it makes sense.
I think there's only one way to convince Barnaby that he's not dreaming. Okay, hear me out. Throwing him off of something tall.
I remember I did that, and then I fell in a puddle of acid that I thought was a pool.
So you thought you were dreaming way back then? I thought that wasn't until when did he start saying that? It was after that.
It was on Monty Bon.
Yeah, that was before you started with all this. You're all a dream talk.
Yeah, and that's when I realized that I had been in a dream this whole time.
Right. So, most of the time in logical whatevers, falling dreams usually result in you waking up.
That's true.
Well, that's only where you keep falling. You see, I fell into a thing of acid, and that really hurt.
So you're saying we have to throw him off of something taller?
I don't think I would describe that as falling. I think you cannonballed into it. It was very intentional. I watched it.
Cannonball is falling with style.
Just cannonball off a cliff, Barnaby. And you'll wake up.
I mean, if you can find a waterfall, I do have that on my bucket list to jump off the top of a waterfall.
I'll keep my
I'm not actually in the carriage with y'all.
All right, this has gone on way too long.
I mean,
Cool.
Move forward.
So,
some sort
I
of
will
weird
say
strides in situations.
To wrap it up, I will say at some point, Burberry looks over and sees that Noel's written in the journal. Thanks for checking in.
Oh.
And you'll get a whisper back that says always.
Yeah.
So, the party will touch base, catch up, discuss the merits of dreaming once more in the carriage. Varys will continue to sort of ply Aloran with the promise of forbidden knowledge of the Leviathan. Eventually, around mid-afternoon.
Can I say about every 4 hours I check in with Aloran?
Okay. It's probably twice over the course of the carriage ride, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like a good amount of time. It's enough that I don't have to worry about getting greeted by strange sounds, but also short enough that she needs help. We can offer it.
Sounds of wet fishes slapping against each other.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the sound of a good fish hitting a cutting board, but
I would pretty much be like, I'm learning some stuff right now. I'm very interested.
Interesting to us or interesting to you?
To me. Definitely to me.
They're definitely
Have
fucking
fun. That was what I was about to say.
Sorry.
No. There's people in the carriage.
My only question is, did they invite the dragonborn or not?
She would not. She was so uptight.
She would just be really, really unhappy. She'd be like, Jesus Christ, he's ending me.
Okay, Johnny,
Again.
I have to ask you something real quick. Do you think Pythe cares?
No. Not at all. The question is, does Varys care? I feel like there's a possibility.
So, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, you guys would see up ahead on the road a village coming into view. You've been riding through farmland for nearly 2 days now, and it looks like you're about to reach a destination. And at this point, Rexora will sort of like look out the window and just kind of like start shouldering pie. They don't. Are we here? And she's like, "Yeah, about 10 minutes out." And he'll poke his head out the window. Oh, at long last. Well, everyone, welcome to Crazewood. And as you pull into town, you can see that this is a fairly quaint little village. And sporadically throughout this village, you can see these very large, like way out of place McMansion style manors built like in the middle of these neighborhoods. Like down every street, there's like 2 or 3 of them, and all around them are just like all the smaller homes of the other residents. They stand out like a sore thumb, and you guys sort of ride into the village center where there's this, very large square that was at one point probably like a very functional, very, rural pastoral style, just life in the country kind of setup. It is now there's a very large kind of gaudy 3-tier fountains, probably 15 feet tall, just cascading water constantly down. That the residents kind of give a wide berth. Some of the storefronts have been massively built up to the point that they are way out of proportion and style with the building behind them. These really ornate facades that have kind of been built up around the perimeter of the village. It's got kind of like a Ren Fair feel almost to it when you step into the village square. It's just everything is it's just so not real at all. And you can see down one avenue there is sort of an open sort of green on that one side of the square, and there's a gate in sort of a wrought iron fence, and the road leads through that gate down to a single manor. And Pi will kind of point out to that. It's that's Crazewood Hall. Founder of this village built that place for himself, and not long after it was finished, they hung him in the streets during the revolution. It's such a shame. The poor guy didn't get a chance to spend a day in it. That's our meeting house now.
If they murdered him, why is it still named after him?
Well,
Are we walking through the town?
No, you guys are still in the carriage.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Carriages. You're sort of driving through the carriages through town still, and he'll point that out to, I guess, the people in the carriage with him. So, Lauren, right?
Big building.
Which building do you think that is, Burberry?
Probably a town hall somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
So many murders have happened in that house. I'm betting a lot of fights have broken out in there.
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite place on the island. Rexora is just just this groan. And he's like, "Oh, lighten up. We've always gotten out, right?" And she just shakes her head and continues looking out the window. And he says, "But we will be heading to my place, and you can see it right down there. There it is." And as you guys turn down the street, you can see at the end of the alley on the edge, or at the end of the street on the edge of town, there is this estate surrounded by these cypress trees. And as you pull up to it, you can see it's this very large brick, sort of Georgian style, almost plantation house. It's got the neoclassical sort of pillars on the front, the multiple wings with the balconies that kind of wrap around the exterior of the building. But at each corner, there has been built these really out of place, huge towers that are probably 5 stories tall, that are these huge minarets almost, that kind of rise up over the landscape, and just tower over everything else in the area. And on top of that, like the pillars, the doors, everything has been like very heavily like lacquered and coated in this really ostentatious gold leaf sort of filigree and designs. Just it is as extra as it is possible to be. And as you're pulling into the drive, like through the gates of the estate, there is a fountain, a single fountain in front of this one that has like a solid gold statue standing on top of it.
I'm gonna comment. Yeah, he was right. There was no way we would have missed that.
I think Lauren will literally just be like, "Wow, I can't believe we missed it."
And there's a solid gold statue on top of the fountain. And as you draw close enough, you can see that it is another rendition of Pythe. He's got a sword in one hand, his hat off in the other, and his mouth is like open to this fountain of water out into the basin around him.
I'm starting to think that he must have a very small dick because he's severely overcompensating, like everywhere.
Lauren's like, nope.
Yes, but Burberry would not ask that.
It's true. So the carriages will pull up, and Pythe will jump out, stretching theatrically. Oh, well, we're here, everyone. In we go. And he'll begin making for the door, and you'll see that there is an attendant standing at the ready, waiting, that will open the door, let him in, and anyone else who is following. What is the rest of the party doing at this point?
I mean, getting out of
Just
the carriage.
out of the carriage? Fair enough.
Yep.
I wonder how much that cost. Pointing at the fountain.
I didn't want to think about it. Too much.
It's strange. I haven't said this in a while, but I don't think we'd be able to afford it.
I don't think if we combined all our money, we'd be able to afford it.
Well, and it depends entirely on if it's solid or plated.
That's true. So we might be able.
Maybe.
There are better investments.
Stepping inside. The foyer is like this stark black and white checkered tile, like bright crimson marble columns, all of these like hanging tapestries, and again, just like in the hotel, hanging over the grand staircase that kind of wraps up to the second floor, there's a massive portrait of Pythe standing in the very regalia that he is currently wearing. The same hat, same captain's coat, same billowing cape. He's got his foot up on a chest filled and overflowing with gold coins and jewelry and crowns. He's got his rapier out, pointed out into the air. He's got this just big beaming smile on. Just the most excessive thing you can imagine. And as he gives you the tour of this manor, it is entirely decorated in the very same style as his presidential suite back at the hotel. It's all gold filigree, portraits, statues, all of these like knickknacks and just very clearly like display valuables on display in all these glass cases and pedestals everywhere. And from the looks of it,
you managed to keep your regalia in such pristine condition over that amount of time.
Well, that's the trick of it, isn't it? And he will snap his fingers, and you will see as there is like a shimmer as the entire ensemble shifts and changes and takes on the shape of that white suit with the leopard print lapels that he typically wore back at the resort.
I can't decide which outfit I like more.
Right? That's why I had it all put into one. And he snaps again.
I feel like for people that know Burberry well, that means I can't figure out if I like either of these.
Pythe does not give a shit, and he very quickly snaps the fingers, and the outfit transitions again to like this long flowing like kimono style silk robe. He's got like a cravat around his neck with like a little like nightshirt underneath. Like it's so extra. He reaches into the pocket, pulls out a little pipe, takes off the cloak and hands it to a servant, and just continues the tour. It's like, so this is the drawing room in the east wing. You can see here this portion I had painted about 5 years ago. Right.
Like, legitimately, how many outfits are in that thing?
I was actually going to ask, what is this thing? How does this work?
They call it shift weave. It's magic. It's amazing, isn't it? I've got everything I could ever needed here. Snaps again. It just whoosh, back to his travel regalia. Snaps again. There's like an alternate palette of that sort of captain suit. It's like a black coat with like a red vest underneath. The sash is now like a shimmering gold around his waist. And he kind of keeps showing off as he goes around the room. Like it's lots of iterations of like suits and sailing clothes and lounging attire. He's got a decent wardrobe set up in this single outfit, and he just continues.
Does that mean his closet just has one hanger in it?
Unless he's got multiple sets of shift weave.
Wouldn't be surprised if he giant gold statue in 2 different places.
Right. And yeah, it's a very, very extra, very, very obnoxious mansion. All dedicated to himself.
You know what they say about people's houses.
All right.
Do they have like a plaque on the wall with a quote by him?
There
he should.
There is.
He does now.
He does now, yeah.
Nah, you just mentioned that offhandedly. He's like, that's a good idea.
Jeeves, grab me one of those. Find something clever I've said once.
The plaque just says, find something clever I've said once.
I love it. Kill him.
See,
but yeah,
this is what happens when you live on a pirate island.
He'll give you this tour. It probably takes you like half an hour to get through, the ground floor. Another like 20 minutes on the top floor. It's just room after room after room. Eventually, he will lead you guys back to the dining room, and he will say, "Well, I'm famished. I haven't eaten a damn thing all day. Who's hungry? Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
I could eat a bit.
I could eat.
Sure.
Awesome." He'll clap, and the doors to the sides of the dining room will open, and you will see, wait staff walking in, silver platters at the ready, setting them down in front of everybody, and he will serve everyone a really nice meal. Everyone's got, these beautifully seared steaks, fresh greens, potatoes, biscuits. There's a lobster that comes out. There's a roast, like half of a roast pig. It's a spread for sure. And it is good food, to his credit. At the same time, though, as he is eating, he does clap a couple times more, and then another servant will come out with a single tray, which he will set down next Pythe, and he'll just kind of take the lid off. You can see that there's just a pile of cocaine and joints at the ready and waiting. And you can see that he starts like sprinkling it over his food as he's kind of cutting into a steak.
God. This man's heart's going to stop at 45.
Oh, it's going to stop long before that. Right, he's going to accidentally walk in front of a train.
How old is Pythe?
He looks older than he is. I told you this when you met him. He does not look like he's living great. He's living hard. Does not take the best care of himself.
For a good time, not a long time.
A fucking man.
I hope he has like advantage.
Put that on a plaque.
I probably said that once.
But yeah, so he serves everyone food. He's got drugs at the ready. He's definitely offers like anybody want a hit of this? Anybody?
Is it weed?
He's got weed. He's got coke. He's got some other stuff. It looks like.
I'm all right. I'm trying to gain weight, and cocaine's great for weight loss. So
a fair point. You do seem to be skin and bones under there.
I'm like,
This is great on the steak, by the way. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but oh my god.
I don't know. Alon's like kind of eyeing the marijuana.
grabs a fucking sugar bowl, like dumps it, fills it with like a scoop of cocaine, just like, here, pass this down the table. Just whoever wants some.
Like a salt shaker.
Yeah.
Look, this one's salt, this one's sugar, this one's cocaine. Don't get them mixed up.
Don't get the salt and cocaine mixed up. It's happening.
It's the most disappointing high. Oh.
Snort salt. Oh god.
Ow.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But yeah, feeds you guys, and as you guys wrap up the meal, he'll finally say, I think we have earned ourselves a nice long night of relaxation. So feel free. You've got the run of the place. If you need anything at all, you ask my people. They will hook you up. Just be ready come morning. We are heading to Ransal's. All right?
What time is it?
A pool? I have two, my good lady. Follow me, and he'll lead you out to the backyard.
I hope one's on the roof, just to have a point. Just for point.
Second floor balcony, but close. So he leads you out to the backyard. There's a big pool that like stretches out, from the sitting area out there, and he'll point out to the second floor. He's like, "There's a second one out there that's got a beautiful view of the countryside." I might join you later. But he is going to head back into the manor and just start, touching base with the staff and saying things like, so what's been going on since I've been gone? It's been a while. It's good to see you, Jeeves. You look good.
So what time is it?
By the time you guys finish eating, it's probably like 5:30, give or take. It's not quite sunset, but it's getting there.
Would anything be open?
Out in the village? Probably.
It bothers me that we don't have a map of this island.
I was just thinking the same thing, to be honest. Go and ask around about something like that.
Just, maybe run into a magic door somewhere.
That's true. Look for a familiar door.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'll say give me an investigation check.
Ew.
I will join for this.
Burberry gets distracted by food.
Noel gets distracted by Burberry.
Fair enough.
I rolled
What'd you
a
get?
5. 4.
God damn.
With my pluses, I got a 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are we out here for a reason, Burberry? It's been like an hour.
You guys have just got like a stack of corn dogs and some cotton candy.
No, wait. All right, you know what? I'll use my inspiration on this roll because I have it.
Oh shit! Okay.
That's a good idea.
Well, it's better.
Okay.
That's a total of 10.
Ew.
I said better. I did not say good.
We're just looking for a shop.
Sure. I will say you don't find any magic doors per se, but you do see that there's a couple of kiosks that have been set up near the village square that seem to be giving out kind of maps of Crazewood itself. When you get them, they are very ornamental. Like they've got kind of like a theme park map vibe to them. And they highlight, all of the important mansions around here. It's kind of like the Beverly Hills sort of celebrity home tour situation, right? So
here.
Oh, hey, you can see Segan's Manor marked very clearly. You can also see the Maxwell Collective has a mansion here, which is interesting. There's also mansions that belong to the Breckenstones, which is a name you would recognize from the forgeries and the what was their name? The Viserius family has a manor here.
I wonder if they have like a sort of pact or something that says no shenanigans in this area when we're here at the same time.
Maybe.
I mean, obviously, I'd say no shenanigans, but
there's probably a lot of
we were hired for shenanigans.
Unspoken rules of this.
The Varanus family.
Varanus.
A lot of unspoken rules that get broken a lot.
Yeah.
Guidelines.
Yeah.
It's gotta be complicated to live here.
The rules are more like guidelines.
Okay, here's a question.
They do have a map of the island as well
Oh.
that is drawn in a similar fashion on the back of this Crazewood map.
And how much
It
are
is.
these maps? Are they free?
They are complimentary to all visitors, Mum.
Would you like a cookie?
God, I'd love something, please. I'm starving.
I give him a
I haven't
cookie.
eaten all shift.
You know what?
Thank
I
you.
give him 2 cookies.
Thank you. Just fucking devours them. I will say the map of the island is not particularly detailed. You can see Beddingwitch and its harbor. You can see Crazewood to the south of it. You can see Storms Down to the north, which appears to be another village of a similar size to Crazewood. Razorbrig is marked, and it is drawn like a kind of old haunted castle in the midst of all these trees, sort of in the middle of the island. You can see along the west bank there is the Razor Ridge Mountains, which are drawn to look very imposing and craggy. And on the west coast, on the other side of those mountains, you can see Fort Rocher, which is rendered as sort of a row of cannons arrayed on a large stone sort of palisade wall.
If I look at it, is there anything on the map that would be about the distance from Crazewood that we are going to be traveling tomorrow? Anything notable?
Nothing marked. No. Again, this is kind of a theme park style map, so it is pretty simplistic in its
Does it show
rendering.
any forests?
Yeah, the trees seem to be centralized around Razorbrig Prison.
Well, damn.
It doesn't have to be like a giant forest, I don't think. It just has to be like thick trees. I mean, I don't know how it works, but I assume you have to run into the trees.
Okay, so for my own, so if it's not woods around here,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
all
around?
open farmland.
Farmland.
Yeah, farmland. Lots and lots. I mean, it's been farmland all the way down the coast.
Is there corn?
Yeah, probably.
It's like kind of a forest.
Just run into the corn. Just be like, no,
Maybe I should ask the gatekeeper.
Does corn count as a forest?
Does the cornfield count?
Is the corn 30 feet tall?
I mean, some of
10
it
feet
probably.
tall.
This place is
No.
insane.
To us,
I need a
it
corn
might
tree
feel
now.
like 30
I need to
feet.
see a corn tree.
We'll
Rick and Morty, season 2, episode 10.
we'll keep our eyes peeled when we're riding out tomorrow, Burberry. As long as we can find some small patch of trees to run into, I think we can make this work. Hopefully.
Would you like to pick up a snack for tomorrow while we're not around a cocaine maniac?
Sure. Did you have something specific in mind?
Holds up this insane map. Is there anything that looks like it sells like any sort of like nuts or bakery or?
Is this like a proper town? Is there stuff here, like, or is it just
Yeah,
housing?
The town square is very theme parky, but once you get down like the streets, kind of in between the mansions, you have actual like townhomes and like row houses, and shops that the locals actually use.
Okay.
Place that just sells keychains.
There's probably one in the town square.
Burberry, look, I got you a novelty license plate.
Wait, they had one for that?
I know.
They're boat sized.
I could
They're
not believe
like
they had Burberry.
4 feet across. But yeah, you could find a bakery and you know,
or one that sells
general goods that sell nuts, snacks, whatever.
One that sells exotic jerkies.
There's probably a jerky place, yeah. It's gonna be main square though.
Which direction did we head again? Betting which?
You guys are in Crazewood now.
In Crazewood?
Yeah.
After you, my lady. Since apparently this is themed.
Sure. We'll pick up some snacks, some healthy snacks for the road tomorrow.
Right.
And which direction are we heading out of Crazewood tomorrow?
Trail mix.
He has not said. He's only said that you were heading out a day.
Roasted almonds, salt.
I
mean, the only direction that there are forests is over at the Razor Ridge Mountain. So unless we head west, we're heading away from the forest.
Yeah, I guess while we're away from everybody else, I'll just do a quick sending, like duck into an alley for 5 minutes to do this. To the gatekeeper?
Okay.
Hi, it's Noel again. We've maybe got more use for the waylight, but we need to know how much forest needs to be there for it to work exactly.
There are one tree and touch work.
If we just run around one tree, does it?
One tree does not a forest make. You will need a canopy, and you will need enough forest to be able to lose sight of the forest edge.
Big forest. Got it.
We can find that.
Good luck.
By the prison.
So, Burberry, Noel, getting maps, getting snacks for the road tomorrow.
Picking up some Jordan almonds.
Yeah. What is everybody else doing? Anything?
Lauren is going up to that second story pool, changing into her bikini and going for a swim.
Okay.
She
Sure.
John is being even more.
John is getting more cranky.
Yep.
Poor John. Just keeps dragging on and on. Barnaby, anything from you?
I think I'm just gonna take one look at the pool and there's no fish on that.
Nope.
There's one right now.
Not a fish I could eat.
I could turn into a fish, Barnaby, and you could fish for a fish.
Just play like some sort of weird version of tag where Lauren's being a fish and Barnaby's trying to catch her. You can use like the pool cleaner basket.
Oh, you trying to get a net, you're trying to scoop her up.
It's like those goldfish games at the carnival.
Yeah. Except bigger.
Like, look, it's good practice. Next time we're in a river.
All right. Well, I mean, you guys are more or less left to your own devices while Stephen Pythe finishes dinner, desserts, does some more coke, plays on his piano for a little while. At some point after sundown, Lauren, I think that Varys probably would spend the afternoon with you, but once the sun goes down, I think he would excuse himself and head back into the mansion. Do what?
She'll be like, "What you doing?"
Just need to have a quick word with our very gracious host before turning in for the night. Just one moment. And
Lauren would spy, but I'm expecting he's going to try to come find her.
It's your call. It's your call.
Oh, sorry.
Harvey, what do you think I should do?
I would also like to make sure to walk by Segan's house so that we know what it looks like. So that if we get any more questions asked about it, we'll have slightly more context.
Sure.
We do have a floor plan, but yeah.
Just a walk by. Something like color of the brick or
Yeah. Seagan's Manor is, by comparison, very understated compared to Pythe's. It is in the similar sort of brick Georgian kind of colonial style, but like there's no additional wings. It's really just kind of the one block building. It's 3 stories, kind of a tall dark slate roof, white trim, and pillars on the front porch. It's pretty quaint by comparison. Although the property itself is pretty large. And there is like a decent amount of like natural growth around the perimeter that kind of gives them a little privacy, like some tall, towering kind of willow trees that kind of drape over the drive on the way up. It's nice to get away from all the gold and just take in some
other pirate lord
some
houses.
tasteful some tasteful displays of wealth.
He definitely hired
For a
a
moment.
landscaper.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. I just want to literally just walk by that one house. Done.
Should Lauren try to figure out they're talking about thoughts from the party?
What, sorry, you cut out.
That was weird. Like half of every word was cut off.
Lovely. Should I sneak? No.
Should you sneak into the room to listen?
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, I wouldn't, but I'm not as bold as Lauren, so.
You also can't turn into a spider.
It's true, I can't turn into a spider.
Turn many other things, but not a spider.
So if one of your boy toys for you out, you're sneaking in there, how are you gonna get out in time?
What?
So if one of the 2 guys comes looking for you to spend the night with, how are you gonna get out of there in time?
See, my thinking is that I go in the opposite direction they went, and then maybe find a bathroom or something, morph into that, and walk out of there.
Okay.
Or find
As long as you have an exit strategy.
I have an exit strategy.
I have an exit strategy. It's gonna I was just exploring the mansion. Or maybe she went to go find a drink and got lost. She's like, I have no idea.
It's not like you have a bag of booze next to you at all times.
Water.
Okay, I don't have to pay for it, and it doesn't have to come out of the portable stash.
Also true. Are you following?
All right.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Cool. And I'm gonna pass without a trace.
Okay. So pass without a trace, and I assume this is spider again.
Yep.
Okay.
You just have to catch fish. It's not 20.
Jesus.
So
Of
30.
course. So 30 plus the spider stealth, which is 4, so 34 total. So Aloran very carefully follows Varys crawling along the ceiling, kind of like just above the crown molding, like completely out of view. And you see him kind of wandering the mansion for like 10 minutes before he finally is like, oh, there he is. And you both can hear clearly the sound of very intoxicated singing coming from one of the parlors on the second floor. And getting closer, you can hear the sounds of strumming as he has an instrument out again. And you can see that Pythe, following Varys, you can see that Pythe is like sitting on one of his little chintz couches, strumming the lute that he took from the inn, and just belting sea shanties to the room by himself. And he's got his little tray of like half snorted coke next to him. And as soon as Varys walks in, Varys, join me. I know you know this one. And he's like, a moment, Pythe, if you would. Oh, Phoebe. And he's like, "Oh, what is it now? You are so dour lately." And fucking Varys. God, I'm forgetting everybody's names. Varys sits down in a seat across from him and just kind of very pointedly looks at him, and he says, "You didn't tell me that this Lux fellow was a friend of Opal's. You didn't mention it at all when I told you who had come to visit me that night." And he says, honestly, I didn't make the connection until I saw you look at her. And I gotta say, that was rich, I'm sure. Oh, more than. Yeah. And I assume that your withholding this information was also unintentional regarding the business with Ransol. And he says, "Look, buddy, we are about to see the family reunion of the decade, okay? I am so ready for this. I am dying to see how this plays out. I don't need you being a Debbie Downer about the whole fucking thing, okay? You're being a drag. I need you to relax." And Varys, he shakes his head again, and he says, I told you almost a week ago. Shirog saw Vevi talking, right? You remember scrying, how that works? He's like, I know. People are coming. I already see where this is going, Varys, and I don't think this is it. I really don't. You've got your guys watching the ports. You've had them there for a week. Nobody's come up, and these guys have been here all week. You're telling me you don't think there's a connection there? You're killing me. You're taking all the fun out of this whole excursion. This is Ransol's long lost son. You're telling me you don't want to see this play out? You're not the least bit curious what we're going to see, what we're going to hear, what dark stories, mysteries, juicy details are about to come out of this interaction. All right? We have one fucking day. All right? We can worry about that after the reunion. Just please, don't ruin this. Don't ruin this.
I would like to say Lauren has positioned herself by the door so she can make it very quick.
Yeah, sure.
Google it.
Varys, at that point, because Pi just got very, very serious, like wide-eyed, kind of staring at Varys with that last line, and Varys is kind of takes a deep breath. Says, "As you wish, Mr. Pyth."
All right, she'll go on the outside of the door, but still be listening.
You will hear Varys like stand up and get ready to leave, and he will say, "For what it's worth, the girl has seen the Leviathan. Has she? I'm sure you two have so much to talk about now." And Varys says, "Yes, well, it has been a very curious few days. Whatever does happen tomorrow, I think I would, and I think Shirog would also like to talk more with her after this is all done." And Pi just, fine. Look, whatever. Just go. You are harshing the entire room right now.
She's bolting. She is bolting like opposite direction, far away as possible. She's gonna try to go to like a room with alcohol, and then she'll like transform back over there and be like, fucking with bottles.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, with a 34, you can definitely get where the fuck you're going.
Yeah.
That issue. Varys just kind of like storms out of the room, like slams the door behind him. You hear Pi start the strum up, start singing again. And Varys just starts walking down the hall, and you're gone. You find yourself a pantry or a wine cellar or something, and then Aloran.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
She'll not be wearing her bikini anymore. She'll be in her like regular clothes, and like I think she'll just be kind of like rooting through bottles. I'm looking for a really nice bottle.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then after she finds a nice bottle, she's just gonna walk around, kind of drinking it, and just.
Yeah. I'm sure the rest of the party is in the manor somewhere. So if you want to go find someone, that's possible, doable.
If I can find someone, I'm gonna go find.
Yeah, sure. Who first? Or everyone?
Probably well for percentages.
Okay.
So if I can happen across them.
Probably there at some point.
I imagine you guys would have gotten back before, sundown to, get ready for bed or whatever.
I'm pretty easy to find because I'm building a tent.
So, you guys, I guess you would probably know, like, waits or butlers would have like shown you guys the rooms and stuff, so you'd know where to look for, somebody's room to go find them.
Okay. Wait, can I also ask these people for a blanket fort?
Do you require more blankets, sir?
I want to make biggest blanket fort possible, please.
Very well, sir. He'll depart in a few minutes later. Return with a big stack.
It's silly.
Are Noelle and Burberry in the same room?
Sure.
Easy. Easy.
We have to oversee this blanket fort construction.
Yeah, I'm the manager on this project, and I'm just sitting on the bed reading the map.
So she'll sit down with you, start talking, and then as she's talking, she's gonna pull out her journal. She's just talking at this point, and she is going to start writing everything she just heard. And before she does it, she's like, just keep talking. Like we're having a regular conversation.
Sure.
Just about nothing.
Boy, this is really hard to do.
Well, yeah, just talking about nothing.
You talk about one thing and write another.
And then she'll.
Yeah, that is really hard.
Yeah, and then. Yep.
There's a certain Noelle's like trying to talk to you, and then she accidentally writes the words that she's saying, and then she crosses it out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
She'll pretty much just say that.
Is this a pimple or an oil?
I feel like Burberry will say, "Oh, are you writing another love letter?"
No.
She doesn't usually write that.
You should maybe come over and read this thing that Lauren wrote, Burberry.
Oh, you want me to spell check it? Okay, I can do that.
It's about the events of last night.
Mr. Priest, would you like the foyer raised any higher, or is this acceptable for now?
Oh, is there a person in here? Oh, she would not be doing this. There's a person in here.
The butlers were building a blanket fort for Burberry.
Okay, well then, Lauren would pass a note to Noelle and be like, message me. Like, she would not do this in front of
Oh, okay.
Burberry's
We'll
like
go
sitting
to
there going,
the next room
"Oh,
over
me."
to talk.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll
Even
distract
then,
like
she
all
will
the
just-
maids.
I think if anything,
I think if anything, she might talk about how she found out like about the Leviathan, and she'll talk about that a little bit, and then after that she'll start go to more normal conversation, and then she'll talk about what she just heard in the paper.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. Are you actually wanting to stay and learn more about this Leviathan, or were you lying to him?
Lord's like,
Insight check.
you can definitely. You don't even need to roll insight. You can tell Lauren is like, this is the most Lauren, about it, and no one's been able to figure anything out in the past. So she definitely has like an interest in it, and she's just like, I don't want to lose the opportunity to learn more, but I'm also terrified to learn more.
It doesn't really work with our current plans. We were kind of gonna bail in like a day.
I know.
That's written in the notebook.
It's written in the notebook, right?
You want to have this conversation in writing?
I want this conversation in writing so we can just like burn it.
Sure. We'll say that we're writing all this down.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the other thing? There was the Leviathan, and then the scrying. Yes.
The scrying, they know about us. Varys is suspicious also.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. I figured he would probably be suspicious, but we just have to be careful not to show our cards too early. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a rare opportunity for me to learn information. When I have had no information until.
I'll be honest, this seems like something we should talk about with the whole group.
You're giving the blanket fort a guest room? That's amazing! All that's gonna happen, and Burberry's just gonna end up sleeping under the bed.
So what is there?
It's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. It's after sundown.
Okay.
Burberry makes the fort so nice.
Probably
they
be
can't
weird.
actually afford rent at that place.
That wouldn't be difficult in this house. I don't even want to ask what the thread count on those are.
Brother Priest, you have fully gentrified the guest wing. I'm afraid that you are no longer able to afford the rents required.
Maybe I'll just pitch up and just be like, hey, like maybe we should go talk to John and see how he's feeling about all this. And
yeah, that's true too. Let's go find John. And Barnaby if we can.
And we'll just tag Burberry with us. Burberry, come hit us.
You're doing great. Keep up the good work.
As you will, sir.
Do you have any fun here?
When I sleep. It is quiet and peaceful, sir.
I'm gonna give him a cookie, and then I'm gonna follow Lauren out.
What the hell is this?
So you guys are looking for John and Barnaby.
Yep.
As you are sort of wandering the mansion looking for them, you will distantly hear echoing through the mansion Varys's voice calling out, Opal, where have you gotten to? Opal.
She'll be like, here, go discuss this with the rest of the group, and I'll go talk to him.
Please be careful.
You're gonna go find him?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll go find
sure.
hers. And she'll still have the bottle, like, partially drinking it.
I was gonna ask for stealth checks if you guys wanted to avoid him, but
No.
Lauren's gonna run interference.
Yep.
All right. So you follow the sound of him calling and find him like kind of wandering down a hallway. He's like, oh, there you are. I lost track of you. I went back to the pool and you were gone.
Yeah, it got kind of boring, and I kind of wanted a drink. And then I got lost. And then I couldn't find my way back to the pool.
There's a little labyrinthine in here, isn't it? Just a hair.
I realized that I passed
return
the
to the
same
pool?
giant portrait like 3 times.
Or he's got 3 copies of it.
Yeah, I don't know if he had 3 copies of the same portrait, or if it's a
Sure.
3 separate.
So while Aloran and Varys away to the pool to continue drinking and lounging, you guys catch up with Barnaby and John. Find them in some wing of the manor. The pool room, maybe.
Where are they?
This house is big
I
enough
found
there
a
might
snack
even be a
bar.
freaking fishing wing.
There's a fishing wing.
There's a shark wing.
He's got an indoor shark pool for shark hunting.
Oh,
He has
great.
to practice before he goes after the big bull.
Barnaby and John, I guess you're here now. We got some stuff to talk about real quick. Lauren is concerned because she just found out that Varys and apparently by extension La Shirag know about the creature that killed her entire village. And this is the first lead she's ever had, and we're not sure how to address this because we're leaving tomorrow, probably.
So basically, we need to capture one of them and
Capture one of them and what? You got out?
I said capture one of them instead of killing them.
That's not a bad idea. It makes
So
me wish we
now
bought a
we have to
second
capture
chain.
2 people instead of 1.
Well, we
Capture.
certainly have enough handcuffs.
I mean, capturing Varys would not be the end of the world. That would be difficult. She mentioned that he showed her he can do magic, which makes things complicated always. But that's maybe what we're gonna have to do on short notice because.
What about the other one?
To be fair, if we managed,
She would have told.
She would have.
huh?
I said just run. You're good.
Okay.
To be fair, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it would be pretty easy to catch Varys, I think, if a lord convinces him to try some new stuff in bed. Because
Why'd you have to drag me over for this?
it's very hard to cast spells when there's something in your mouth.
And I got stuff for that.
I mean, if that's the case, I could just feed him. How about that?
Feed him what?
Gumbo.
Just constantly feeding him
Honestly, what else do you think I'm gonna
I
make?
don't know.
pizza.
What was the other one you mentioned, John? There was as another option besides Varys?
Are you going into depth about how she found out about all this?
No, sorry, we're trying to figure out who we're gonna kidnap.
I know. I'm talking. Have you gone into depth of
Yeah,
what she
we'll say
heard?
I explain things.
Okay, then the
Are we still worried
Shigag
about this drag nonsense?
person isn't the Shigag person the one that did the divining or whatever?
Yeah, but he's like a pirate lord.
That we haven't
So
met
was
yet.
the one we're capturing already?
Bloodbeard's is Bloodbeard a pirate lord?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
that's true.
But La Shirag
But
isn't
Varys
there.
is definitely going to be there tomorrow, and La Shirag is probably not.
Okay, my worry is that if he can divine stuff, he can find us as soon as we try to escape.
That's true.
That's one thing we have no way to defend against.
Yeah. Do I know anything about divining magic, DM? Like, if there's ways to prevent it or anything?
Are we still worried about scrying? Are we having this conversation? Like, actually having this conversation?
I don't think you'd have incentive to scry on us. They don't even know. Well, they do know who we are, but
And
none of us have had to make a
suspicion.
wisdom saving throw for metagaming it.
Well, the person that's trying is currently being distracted by a Lorne.
Fair enough.
I rolled garbage arcana. That's like a 4.
Oh,
so.
I can do Arcana.
Do you know anything about scrying, Burberry?
I should. It's a thing I can do with my spell at some point. That's
Some
a
spells,
20.
yeah.
There
Oh, damn. So, Noelle, you are not super versed in divination, magic, or scrying, but Burberry, this is definitely something that is covered a lot in the Conclave. There's a lot you can do to protect yourself from divination. There are magic items that can shield you from that kind of magic. a lot of times, remote viewing magic of any kind will require a certain level of familiarity with the subject, whether it is the location that is to be viewed, or the individual to be viewed, or what have you. So the more information one has, the easier it is to successfully view someone. And
I'm confused.
as far as you know right now, Shrog doesn't know.
He knows of us.
Well, no, I'm confused. How did he divine that people were coming? Or
He scryed on Ellen Cully.
okay.
That's how
But to the best of your knowledge, he does not know that you are the group that was sent. And he does not know much about you, as far as you know.
But Varys is sus of us.
Varys is sus, based on Lauren's spying.
Okay, so we don't really have to worry about the diviners. So.
Well, we do have to worry about if Varys gets kidnapped. I think Shirag would probably spy on him, or scry on him. And if we're anywhere near him, we might get seen too. Which makes things very complicated.
Oh.
I'm gonna cast Sending to Aloran. And I'm gonna say best we could come up with is kidnapping Varys. Burberry recommends trying new things in bed to get everything out of him. That's all we got.
She's like, I could go with that. I did buy a gag and the handcuffs.
So, Dia, what happens on the other side of this conversation?
Varys is just chilling with you in the pool, I guess, and sharing this bottle that you found. You receive a sending spell and respond to it.
Make sure you drink from the bottle.
And Varys is just sort of staying his usual sort of cordial, aloof self. Just continuing to make small talk. Definitely not letting on how sus he is, as you overheard. So I guess he probably comes across as a little coy now that you have heard that. But no real change in his behavior from earlier.
Okay. I'll just go with it. No change in behavior.
Okay. So yeah, what is the plan going forward here? What do you want to do, everyone?
I don't think we should do this plan tonight because we still don't know where we're going.
No,
this is gonna be like.
This would be like in the moment. It's like we attack, and if we can get Varys unconscious, we drag him with us. That's how this has to be.
I mean, so I'll be real. Like, if we really wanted to do the whole kidnapping Varys thingamadig, I don't think we have to worry about scrying that hard. As long as we ask all of the questions while we're in the Feywild.
Do we? That would be something Burberry would maybe know. Can you be scryed on extraplanar?
With a what was it? A 20 Arcana?
20.
Pretty sure you would be safe in the Feywild. Most divination spells you know currently require you to be on the same plane of existence as your censor or your subject. So you would assume
I could pause
the stronger ones up to a point work the same way.
I could pop in Varys in and out of bag of holding every 10 minutes.
I feel like the only issue
There's no
would
way he's fitting
be...
in that bag.
Yeah, I feel like the only issue that would really come
Not
up
with that giant dick in there.
would be...
What?
Oh God! Imagine if she tried to shove him.
He wakes up.
I think I know what you were saying.
Hey, you can use it to block his mouth. We can't cast spells.
We're covering every contingency in the other room.
Oh God.
Oh man.
What were you saying?
So I feel like the only problem that we'd actually come across is what we do on the other side if we don't ditch him in the Feywilds.
He's not gonna let us ditch him. He's gonna fucking book it for us. Like, he would be chasing us down.
Of Aaron?
Varen, yeah. Like, if we kidnapped him and he woke up in the Feywild.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, because in this equation, I'm not counting Varen in this equation because in this equation land, we've kidnapped him and we're worried about scrying stuff.
Yeah. For the scrying in particular, yes, asking questions in the Feywild would be our best bet. Can the Waylight do that? Like, if we stop moving, does it stop too, or does it just ditch us?
I think it would stop too because it takes us several days through the Feywild to get to the other side, right?
It takes you a day of travel.
Okay, because I was like, yeah, this is taking a nap.
I'm not sure if it
nice.
accommodates bathroom breaks or.
It did in your previous excursions,
Okay.
so yes, it would
Stop
it would stop to wait for you.
Ask questions if we need to.
I mean, he'd know what we asked him when we got out, but.
Yeah, there's only so much planning we can really do. We're working with super limited information. All we know is Varys has lots of important info now, and if we can get him, we should try.
I mean, we're taking the other guy to the military. I'm sure we can take Varys too.
I'm guessing Aloran can't just ask. Is this a I'll only tell you this stuff if you stay in my realm kind of thing? Or
sus as fuck of us. So,
well, I mean,
he's sus as fuck, and then he wants her to stay, and that's like afterwards, and then he'd tell her stuff.
Okay, well, I know he's sus, but like this is a non-related topic.
So hear me out. One, they're literally going
to rawest grand place.
And if we
go later, after she's learned her information, we don't have to deal with Varys or Pyth being there, and then we order the inside of the layout of this place and all the other information. And then we would kind of wipe our record clean. Varys wouldn't be very sus of us anymore. Pyth would be like, you were just freaking out the whole time, and then we go back and get him later. But we'd have all the information we would need.
So you're saying we don't...
To get back there.
Okay, can we say this, DM, like... Do our does Aloran's evening pass relatively without incident, or is there more happening over on that side of things, so we could meet back up at the end of the night and talk?
I think the most that would happen is that Varys would probably start putting moves on you as the night started winding down. So it's kind of a question of how receptive is Lauren to that, and if not, how is she getting out of it?
For being sus, he certainly sleeps with the enemy a lot.
I feel like it's out of character.
Would it be out of character now that you know that he's sus as fuck? Or is this a Lauren trying to keep up the ruse?
Keep up the ruse.
Yeah, she's saying it would be weird if she didn't
right.
now.
Yeah.
I know. It's getting weird.
It's not the first time.
Hey, you know what? He is a hunky Triton, so We'll take one for the
All right.
This is what slutting around gets you.
I'm just glad we haven't met a dragon yet.
I
would say maybe in the early morning. I don't know.
You like wake up and try and reach the party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I'd like
wake up early.
So I'll say this.
Or if you have like another sending. Yeah.
Sure, I could cast. I mean, I wouldn't be able to cast sending early in the morning. I would be sleeping, but I could give you a sending late in the night and just say like, "What's the plan? Let us know, and where to meet you."
Okay, I'll say. We could wait. We'd have all information to go back. And I spend a few days with him and figure it out. I'm hoping that was 24.
Yeah, that was plenty. Or
yeah,
you were well under your limit.
Okay.
Quick, vaguely related question. How long was the time that the information that we received from Segan viable?
What do you mean
The
Segan said it would.
The fake dirt.
the forgeries? How long are they viable?
I did read them.
Yeah, he said. I'm pretty sure he said in that letter that they should be enough to keep Pied's attention, but he also said that he expected they would shortly become irrelevant.
I feel like
the dirt gave him gonna be like, oh,
well, they still signed off.
well, they signed off me or something.
Okay, I was just double checking that it didn't
Yeah.
happen or was supposed to happen
It sounds
if
like
we stay an extra few days.
At the very least, there's like a buffer of some kind there. I think Segan probably would have given us that. Oh boy.
Gotta love politics. Piratey politics. Murdery piratey politics. It's like a house of cards right now.
Would we get a chance to talk face to face with Lauren before we leave for the travel?
I'll say this then, Lauren, after your activities with Varys wind down, go ahead and give me a stealth check to wake up and sneak off in the early morning.
Can I pass?
Sure.
I don't know if you should, because this might be the day where we have to fight Bloodbeard.
I mean, you can also just.
Would you fight him before the end of your long rest?
Oh, is this still in the long rest, technically?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. You're good.
Okay. Then I'll cast Pass Without a Trace. That was a 9 plus 10.
So 19
Yeah.
total?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait,
plus 2, so
21. Yeah, cool. Varys just in the bed and just kind of rolls over, and you continue onwards towards the guest wing where the rest of the party's sleeping, and let them know, like, hey, let's talk. So you guys gather in the blanket fort, I guess.
Blanket fort.
It's really nice in here, Burberry.
I know, right? They put in a guest. There's like, I didn't know.
There's a second floor.
I didn't know blanket forts could have rooms.
Mr. Burberry, the HOA approved the shed.
But no pet.
No pets, please.
So I guess we'll just kind of say I said earlier, like we'd know all the information to get back there. And I know it's not the original plan, but I have had zero luck finding out any information about this creature. And I would like to try to learn more about it. And I think, like, by not doing anything, Varys would be not suspicious of us anymore. And then he might be more willing to give me information more faster than planned. But, like, it would only be for, like, a day or two, and then I'd just call it quits with whatever information I got. and we wouldn't have to deal with Varys or Pike being there, which is one other pirate lord who we've seen do some crazy shit, and Varys can do magic. So, could help not a bit. Ultimately,
sorry, I do have a thought, but I'm looking something up real quick.
Maybe. Nah.
Okay. Boy, do I not want to say this. Technically, Burberry can speak with dead if we could get Varys's head.
Okay.
That begs a question.
This is so good.
If she talks to dead, can they lie?
Yes.
Yes.
But we can trick them too.
I think if he killed us, he would never tell me anything. If we
What?
killed him.
Okay, hang on. Question. What if we double casted?
He's dead. He has nothing to gain.
What if we double casted and I had Zone of Truth and talk to dead?
Then it could just choose not to answer the questions.
Can it?
I don't think they have the option to choose not to answer.
Well, Zone of Truth only affects creatures, for what it's worth.
How much of Varys do we have to...
Wouldn't an undead still be a creature?
He's not undead. He's a corpse. He's an object.
Alright, we find a necromancer.
I feel like it should still affect them.
My only concern with that is I still won't get any information from that. I mean, it's been how long since we gave fucking what's his face Will's head, and I doubt he's learned much.
You know, we'll call the beheading like Plan G.
Not Plan B heading.
I did want to say Plan B, but
I know it changes a lot.
I mean, I know that like it's possible to compel information out of these dead corpses because we almost did it when we were in the Shadowfell, me and Burberry. We tried to trick one and we almost did.
It didn't appreciate it very much.
I got more than I expected.
That is true.
It's not necessarily like you would get nothing. Frankly, I'm not really in favor of this plan. I'm not sure why I'm defending it. We do have options, grim as they may be, other than having to wait. I'm just really worried that if we don't take advantage of this opportunity, we lose it. And it's just so hard to know right now because we know so little.
I have another question. Burberry, are you able to revive people at all?
You have to revive them in like
it's like a
10 minutes.
Time, right?
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes? That's it?
10 minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute?
Wait,
For
isn't
Revivify, it's
there-
Oh,
1
last
minute.
minute. Sorry,
Extend that?
last minute. My bad. 1 minute.
Oh.
Wait, isn't there a way to extend that? Like,
If there is, I do not know.
Peter knows.
Gentle repose.
Yes.
Oh.
If you
Right.
did that within the minute of him dying.
That'd be so mean.
That would mean we wouldn't have to deal with him for however. And then we could revive
you
him.
scry on a corpse?
So
Well, okay, so it just says that protects corpses.
I don't know that Burberry would know that necessarily, but I will look it up.
If you've done it in a game before, or if Plet okays it, then that's fine. But like gentle repose only stops it from decaying. I don't know if it allows the soul to go back
I'm not
into it.
100% sure if that is a real rule or not, but I've heard that happen before.
I'll let.
The spell effectively extends the time limit on raising the target from the dead, since days spent under the influence of the spell don't count against the time limit of spells such as raise dead.
So if you
Okay,
cast
but
it within a minute of him dying,
Okay.
Then
'cause, yeah,
as
my
soon
brain's
as the
like,
spell expired, the timer would start again for Revivify. So if you,
Okay.
as long as you kept him under gentle repose, you could revivify him at any time you wanted. You just have to
So-
keep preserving the body.
So couldn't we just technically ask him questions and said that if he tells us the truth, we'll bring him back?
All right. Hear me out real quick. Okay.
Okay.
So
Again,
how
you
about
thought you could get worse, but it can. All right.
okay. So hear me out.
If
we go and they like make sure that we can't figure out how to get there, then we stick with the original plan, try to take Varys alive or dead, whichever so happens. Okay. But if they're not secretive about where he's living and they just kind of show us the path and we know where to go, like I feel like that is a good opportunity to still have the opportunity to go back. And he's going to be on much knowing that a bunch of strangers are coming in, and we just have to be stealthy and sneaky, which I can help with.
I don't think they're just going to show us the path, considering how
that's
amped
why-
Clive gets every time for people's faces.
Well, that's why I'm saying.
Well, that's saying
if they don't show us the path,
and we figure out the path, then stick with the official plan.
and it's
Dead or Alive with Varys.
But
But
that's my
pitch.
that's a fair compromise. I think it's really going to be flying by the seat of our pants, regardless. It's going to get complicated, but this is maybe the best we're going to get right now. Until we know more.
I would like to gently vote against the holding a man hostage plan.
I don't like that plan. I think the easiest route, like honestly, I feel like
if we
go there, we clear our name with them, and we don't actually do anything when we're there, really suspicion of those two. And then we can just literally be like, oh yeah, we're gonna leave the island after a few days, and then we can just go back, get him, run into the woods. By the time they figure out what's happening 2 days away, they can't find us and stop us.
It's not a terrible idea. I mean,
It's
again, I
not.
definitely don't want to kill anyone that we don't have to.
And I feel like this might be the way to not kill anybody, because I think right now we're gonna have to kill Varys and Hyde on top of dealing with Ranzal at the same time.
I weirdly
That's
feel
too-
not very bad about Pike.
Okay.
Pike is a very bad man.
Oh, I don't feel bad about it. I'm just saying that it could
Everyone's like,
provide
yeah,
a lot of
whatever.
Yeah, well, Pies and die.
complications.
Okay.
That's more or less
Last
what I'm saying.
complication
It
I'm going
leaves.
to bring up. I promise I'm not just trying to shit on your plan, but I feel like Varys is going to want to be like get you very involved in this stuff that he's doing. Like you can extract information, but he's not going to be like, "Oh, you're leaving in 2 days, cool," right? Like, isn't he wanting to mentor you at this point? He wants to show you the power of the Leviathan.
He wants to turn you into a warlock.
He wants to like indoctrinate you into his cult. He's not going to be cool with you leaving.
I tried to join a cult once. They're very secular.
It's complicated.
I think I can figure that out. I can figure that out.
Inside check.
All right, deception.
Go out and say it.
Oh shit! I rolled a 19. And I think
you
that's
beat me.
supposed to. Okay. I can figure it out. Oh well. Don't you worry. Lauren's like,
Yeah.
She's confident.
I can tell she's
very
confident.
confident.
All right,
You
tentatively,
rolled a lot of insight checks on Lauren today.
tentatively, we will call Lauren's plan Plan A, and then we will call the Gentle Repose plan Plan B, And then we will call the beheading plan Plan C.
Wait, could we do B? We just take him alive but unconscious.
All right,
But then,
we'll put that
but then you won't have the fun. You see, Plan A, Lauren. Plan B, Eddie.
I will say, there is a small advantage of him being dead, which is we don't know if he can be scryed on when he's dead.
That's true.
That's fair.
We'll plan,
Okay, we're gonna get back
Plan
before
A,
you
Plan
Stephanie,
B1,
like, look for me or something.
Plan B2, and Plan C.
Cool. So Lauren's gonna go back. She'll leave the room and she'll like go and get some water or something
Okay.
and like bring it back to the
Head back
bedroom.
to Varys.
Yeah.
Get back in bed. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that is the plan, I think you guys will finish your long rests, wake up in the morning on the 46th of your risen. You'll find Pythe at the breakfast table, ready and waiting with a big spread. Eat up, boys and girls. Today we are heading to Bloodbeards. And I think we'll wrap up there and call that session 60.
I hate the fact that I am prepping gentle repose.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, out of character, genius. That was amazing. In character, I hate it.
Using his own revival against him is so evil.
I know, right?
Burberry, we're so evil.
I love how you guys had this huge conversation about it in the carriage too, and now you're like, we could just revive him. We can kill him and bring him back.
What's funny is I feel like a Lauren's plan is low-key like the least evil plan that we've come up with.
100%.
Okay, so for the record, holding his livelihood hostage was a cat idea?
Okay. Literally, all I said was that we could just revive him. I did, like, there was nothing else to just that we could revive him. You didn't have to worry about not. That was the entirety of my.
So I'm definitely giving everybody an RP point for this session, and then we need to vote for the MVP.
I would vote for Burberry just because of that plan at the end.
So many bad plans today. Oh, God.
I will trade 3 points for inspiration, by the way.
Okay, good for me.
All right.
Sure.
Burberry is MVP.
Thanks, guys. I would also like to nominate Lauren.
That's fair.
She's getting all the juicy deets.
Laura came up with a good plan,
It's
but she
okay.
didn't come up with a dramatic plan.